Hey there, Pokefans. Welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Matt, and this is the final tier video that you'll be receiving before Season 13 starts. Again, Season 12 is over, and I wasn't able to record due to problems that I had prior. If you guys want to hear about that, go ahead and watch the last two videos that I made about it, and you'll be caught up to speed. For now, enjoy episode, essentially matches 61 through 85, and I'm putting 85 in there because there's no way I'm going to give you like 4 matches for the rest. That doesn't make any sense to me. So enjoy the video. I hope you like the battles, the changes that we made, and I'll see you at the end. So we got Ursaluna, it's a Blood Moon, Mungus, Iron Hands, Armrouge, Indity, and Therian, and Amaranths. So hard Trick Room for sure, and I'm gonna have to try to take advantage of this somehow. If you got some hard Trick Room, I'm not gonna bring in Tornadus. There's no point. I think the best bet that I have is to bring in these 4 and hope for that I somehow get it. So let's run it. Ogerpon, Golden Go, Urshifu, Qianpao, just so that we can kind of swap in and out of people. If they do get the combo off, which they will, there's no way for me to stop it. Like, I could teach Urshifu Heart Taunt, but both of them can use it, and there's no way, no reason why they won't plan for that. So Indity and Iron Hands, okay. Mold Breaker goes off, so the only fake out target that I can actually go to is going to be on Ogerpon. So with this in mind, I'm going to Spiky Shield, and I'm going to Nasty Plot the Golden Go. Because Golden Go can't be hit with a lot of the attacks that Measure Iron Hands does. No fake out, but we do have Thunder Punch and Trick Room. Oh yeah, fake out doesn't. That's right. Deepy deep. That's quite a bit of damage on the Indity, but is it gonna be enough? Possibly. Stomping Tantrum, the Iron Hands. Let's get a little bit more HP. Go ahead and protect. Thunder Punch goes into the Golden Go, so negated. Psychic also negated. Stomping Tantrum. Not negated. That does way less than it obviously should have. Now they possibly will go into double in that slot again. Problem is, can't swap out with the Pokemon I have. All of them are going to be like hyper effective. Stomping Tantrum, and I will go for the Dragon and hit it. That's all I can really do. I can +1 the Ogerpon. I don't think that's going to make a difference though, but I am going to +1 my Golden Go in case if Ursaluna comes in. Mind's Eye does like hits regardless. Thunder Punch shouldn't do as much damage. Drain Punch goes into the Ogerpon. So he did switch targets. That's dope. Probably, yep, he did get back a lot of HP to that. Psychic does hit Ogerpon as well. Does not get the KO. Here comes to Make It Rain. Almost knocks out the Indity and brings down Iron Hands to a feasible number, but it's not enough to get the KO, which stinks. Now what we could do is Spiky Shield here, and I'm just going to Make It Rain and hope for the best. They could Drain Punch the Golden Go now, but I did a lot of damage. Helping Hand goes into the Iron Hands. Spiky Shield. This is probably just to boost up that Drain Punch. Ice Punch. over to the Golden Go. Oh, man. That stinks. There goes my Terra, too. Let's go ahead and bring out Urshifu. Rec Room. Oh, has one more turn? Okay. Protect. We're not going to go for the double in the Ogre Pond. Brain Punch is going to unfortunately knock him out, but guess what? Your team's looking pretty ragged after this turn. This is the last turn of Trick Room and Psychic. So no more Psychic Surge, which means priority gets activated and the dimensions go back to normal. So I took 3 Pokemon to take out the first 2. Oh boy. Ice Spinner to Surging Strikes. Good that they just allowed the 2 free switch-ins, because I was really thinking that I messed up somehow. Rocky Helmet hits the Entity, does a lot of damage to Chien-Pao, and then we'll lose a little bit more due to Life Orb. Surging Strikes goes over to Iron Hands. Can't read that. Armarouge. And Ursaluna. Sucker Punch there. Actually, no. Think this through. Sacred Sword there. And Surgeon Strike's there. Please hit the Ursaluna. It's Armarouge. Dang it. Goes to grass. Like, I had the right idea. It's like, I have to hit one of them with something. Vacuum Wave. Chien-Pao knocks him out. I forgot Vacuum Wave. I mean, he's gonna get Trick Room up again, and I got nothing. It took 3 Pokemon to take out the first 2, and I only have 1 left. Hit 3 times. Oh, Expanding Force. Okay. I mean, like, I got completely outplayed here. There was little to nothing I could have done here, but that's okay. Trick Room is, especially with that matchup, it's really, really hard to deal with on my team. If I'm gonna do really well in Portland, I need to be able to go in and out without any issues. So if I want to counter Trick Room specifically, I have to bring in 2 slow Pokemon. I think Golden Go and Iron Hands are perfect, but that does replace 1% off my team, and I don't know who I would do for that. So it's gonna be up in the air, but we'll keep that in the back of our mind. Okay, so we've got, it's not Gliscor. Is that Gliscor? Anyway, Fluttermane, Braviary, Persian. Okay, Chi-Yu and Salamence. So that's a dark type. Bring in Tornadus, Fluttermane. I don't know what Braviary is going to do. Chien-Pao and Urshifu. That's who we'll bring in. I'm kind of afraid of Tailwind off 2 characters. I think Braviary, because it is, I think that one is part flying. It might be not flying, but Salamence definitely does have Tailwind, and I don't want to be outsped in this matchup, so I'm definitely gonna be playing in that type of mindset. Persian and Salamence. So Persian probably is going to carry Fake out, which I don't really have to worry about here. But I am going to bring in some hurt. Because I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam that side of the field, which is probably not going to KO either one. They are pretty bulky. Salamence protects, which is totally fine. Nothing from the Persian, so maybe something else? I'm not sure. But here it comes, Dazzling Gleam. It one hits Persian, so I don't know what it was supposed to do, but it's gone. So that's cool. And now that I've got Tailwind up, I now definitely outspeed whatever my opponent's gonna do. Braviary, shiny, it's dope. And we're just gonna go ahead and Dazzling Gleam and Bleak Wind. I don't think I really have anything to worry about for the most part. They're gonna Terra. Kind of interested what this Braviary does. Salamence gets to Terra and it becomes fire. So resistant to Flutter Mane, 100%. Bleak Wind Storm hits both. Salamence almost goes down because of that. That was a crit. And speed drops due to on the Braviary and the Salamence. Dazzling Gleam does take out the Salamence. So whatever he was doing is no longer doing it. But what is Braviary going to do? I mean, it looks cool. Snarl. Yeah, lowers down the special attack one stage. At least the Flutter Mane doesn't do it to Tornadus. Chi-Yu now comes out. Because Terra's already been used, they can't save anybody. And I can pretty much do the Rain Dance and the Dazzling Gleam. Lower down, you know, the attacks of Chi-Yu even more. And Dazzling Gleam knocks out the Braviary. Doesn't do anything to the Chi-Yu. But now my attacks are really, really strong. Crit on the Tornadus. Special attack drops on the Flutter Mane. We'll do that. And yeah, why not? We'll just continue on with our business here. Okay, never mind. Battle's canceled. Like, it was kind of hard to come back from that. Like, I would have loved to know what Persian was supposed to do and Braviary. It seems like everyone was just supposed to debuff and make it so that I literally do no damage. I've done that. I love snarling people with like Umbreon and stuff, but after a while you're just kind of like, what am I doing? And I don't know what build Chi-Yu is going to be. So it is what it is. It's a W, but I would kind of like to know more. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think. Fire Ogerpon, Flutter Mane, Urshifu, Dreadnought, that's cool. Oranguru, that's cool. Klefki, that's even better. A couple Pokemon that I've wanted to use, I just haven't really been able to fit them in a team, but this is really, really nice. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do... And I do have to worry about Trick Room. I also have to worry about Magic Room. You guys may not known this, but Magic Room and Wonder Room are +1 priority now. They're no longer -5 or 6. I think it's -5. They're no longer with Trick Room. They're completely accessible through Prankster. So keep that in mind if you come across this yourself. Tornadus, Flutter Mane, Golden Go, and Ogerpon. That's what I'm going to walk in with. More special attackers than physical attackers, which in this particular team, probably physical attackers would be best just to battle against them. So I just don't have like a lot of things that's going to battle in against their types. It's really off-putting. Can't read any of those. Klefki and Flutter Mane. Booster energy activates on the Flutter Mane. Speed was heightened. So we're going to go ahead and do Tailwind. And I'm going to Terra Fire. Thunderball into their Flutter Mane. Let's see if Magic Room gets used. It's huge. Just to have the ability just to shut off people's items is dope. Terra Water to ignore my Shadow Ball. That's fine. Now, if he uses Magic Room, I'm free to use Thunderbolt next turn, and that's going to knock out that Flutter Mane. Like, I live here. Like, that's going to be dope. Too bad with it, Klefki doesn't have anything that negates abilities. Tailwind will go off because I'm faster. There it is, Magic Room. Oh, that's so dope. Held items lose their effects. So Flutter Mane does not get like the super duper, you know, attacks, but that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Klefki is not dark. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm just gonna hit Flutter Mane with Thunderbolt. Taunt him so that he can't do anything else. Ooh, Fairy Lock? Okay. Thunderbolt knocks that guy down to that. Perish Song. Oh, you're gonna try to get people to like not be able to swap out, huh? Neat. But you don't have anyone to lock me into this. But oh, that's what Fairy Lock was for. You couldn't do that. So I'm just gonna do this. Bleakwind Storm for you. And I'm gonna knock out this Flutter Mane. Bleakwind Storm. Misses someone. The Klefki, but it does hit the Flutter Mane, which they will go down. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm so excited that someone used Magic Room. Thunderbolt goes into the Klefki. Klefki does Steel Beam right into the Tornadoes. Now it's going to take half their health, I think. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. We'll go ahead and bring in Ogerpon. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And they sent out Rangaroo. Okay, Rangaroo is definitely going to set up some sort of Tailwind. Or not Tailwind, but Trick Room. So I'm definitely going to remove that Pokemon off the field. Will it tell me? Counted down. Okay, it does. Protects, I double into that slot. Klefki gets to attack again. Oh, no. That's not good. But no Trick Room. No Trick Room. Steel Beam. Into the Flutter Mane. Doesn't do anything. And you knock yourself out. It's exactly half of its HP. Not current HP, half their HP. Regardless. So, to those out there want to use Steel Beam, keep that in mind. Next up is Dreadnought. The Wood Hammer, the Dreadnought. Wait. Stomping Tantrum? What's... Oh! Okay, oh yeah, dope. Okay. And we'll swap out to Golden Go. It's not like Fairy Lock was a good idea for a Perish Song combo, but I saw that from a mile away. Alright, Shell Smash, you're gonna double your attack. will lower your defenses. You also get a double in speed too. So you'll jump higher than I will. Which I think is okay. Oh, that's smart. Do it again? Okay. Okay, I like it. That's dope. Man, these like foreign players are like on the next level kind of stuff. This is dope. Okay. Now items return back to normal. What? Oh no, that's so neat. Oh, that was so planned. Oh, that was so planned. Okay. Symbiosis too. Choice band. Yeah, we'll just double protect. Why not? Why not? What's the worst that can happen? He hits for like a lot. Yep, rock slide. Yep, that would. Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely, that would do it. That would absolutely do it. Psych up? Oh no, are you kidding? Oh, that's so funny. Oh no. All right. Oh, this is great. What am I gonna do? Yeah, why not? I'm probably gonna go down here. Pokemon avoided it. That's good. Golden Go takes it like a champ. Stored power. Hits the Golden Go. Not very effective, but it does go down. That +4 in speed made it a little bit faster. That's totally fine. Wood Hammer now comes out, and it knocks out this Dreadnought. Oh my god, that's so cool. And I take a little bit of recoil damage. Fluttermane now comes out. Anything he throws out, stored power is going to do a lot of damage, regardless. So I think I'm just going to hit it with the Ivy Cudgel, and I think in the Moonblast. Okay. Nice protect there. Ivy Cudgel. I wish this was Urshifu attacking, but unfortunately he's not. Stored power +12. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do it again. Stored power. Right into the Fluttermane. Gets knocked out. Fluttermane goes down. I'm sorry, Fluttermane. Here comes the Ivy Cudgel now. Bop. Does not get the KO. Speed. Speed is the thing that's holding me back. Yeah, let's try it. For power. Nope. The +12 is too much. And I'm saying +12 because it's 4 in special attack, 4 in attack, and then 4 in speed. That was insane. Probably not a set that you will see everywhere, but that was dope. That was really, really something special. That was so awesome. Okay, so we've got Tornadus, Urshifu, Golden Go, Iron Hands, Hisuian Arcanine and Water Ogre. Walk in with Tornadus and Ogerpon. That way we can deal with Water Ogerpon whenever we need to. I'm gonna need to also do with Iron Hand. So Fluttermane and Chien Pao. Yeah, we'll walk in with those four. We'll leave Urshifu and Golden go in the back, I think. For sure, we're going to leave those two in the back. I don't think that they're going to be very helpful in this particular fight. Like, I do have access to, like, different Terras and stuff, but I just need to make sure that I can withstand a couple of different attacks from different partners. Tornadus and Iron Hands, so possibly we're gonna have to deal with someone with a fake out. World Breaker comes in, but we're switching out immediately to do Fluttermane. So we're gonna see like a back and forth between Tornadus using Tailwind, and then Fake Out is probably gonna go into Tornadus unless they figure I'm gonna swap out the Ogerpon, in which they would use it on the Pokemon coming in. But then they would probably assume that that's going to happen, so that's probably not going to happen. So the Fake Out is actually going to go into that slot. Okay. Tailwind. So I did guess it right. I was hoping that they would like already think of that and use something else. Rain Dance comes in, so make not only my attacks 100%, but theirs. And I'm just going to go ahead and taunt. And Terrifier. Dazzling Gleam. I already know that Heavy Slam's going to come out. I don't want to have my Fluttermane be knocked out right away, and I'm not going to swap out to not deal with like the Heavy Slam that's going to come out. I have to turn off their Tornadus immediately, which probably will have the Mental Herb. But in the event that it doesn't, then you can see something else. They're going to Terra, probably the Tornadus. It's not the Iron Hands. Change it to Grass. That's kind of a terrible choice. I mean, you negate whatever Fluttermane's going to throw at you, which is great. But that's a terrible choice. Here comes the taunt. Do you have Mental Herb? You do not. Can't use Tailwind. Dazzling Gleam comes out. Does a bit of damage here and there. Heavy Slam does not so much damage. Thanks for playing. We're going to go ahead and do Bleak Wind and go right in again with the Dazzling. And I'm going to attack first because you decided to do Rain Dance first and not Tailwind. Which is always the conundrum that a lot of Tornadus players come up with, myself included. Not a lot of damage on that on the Iron Hands. Tornadus does go down. But my Tornadus is going to get taken down by a Wild Charge. Here comes. Bop. And there he goes. Again, I'm okay with that just because of the fact that, you know, with a recoil. Is that enough? It is. Let's go. When you're running a Tornadus Mirror, you kind of want to always do a Tailwind first and then switch over to something else. Fire is going to be negated here, but I'm going to bring out Ogerpon still because I want to know what's in the back. I want to say that he's got Golden Go. Here comes Arcanine. Not that great against Ooh. Oof. Okay. I'm definitely in a rough spot. World Breaker comes off, but Intimidate is going to make my guys -1. Stomping Tantrum. Over to the Arcanine. Dazzling Gleam. They Terra last time? Yes, they did. So this is their natural typings now. Stomping Tantrum, Dazzling Gleam. I do outspeed. Pop. Not enough to KO Arcanine, but I'm hoping this will. It's a little bit of damage, and it is. Let's go. I left it open for the water Ogerpon to kind of decide which one it wants to KO. It went over to the fire. Is enough to get the KO, which is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but the Tailwind is now gone, which is also very unfortunate. Chien-Pao now comes out on my side of the field, and they only have this Ogerpon left. And I technically outspeed because of Sucker Punch. Don't know if that's going to be the case though, but I'll give it a shot. Because the downside is that they use Spiky Shield now. Battle's canceled, never mind. So the downside of it is that they use Spiky Shield. I fail with Sucker Punch, and then Dazzling Gleam fails because it goes into Protect. I do Sucker Punch again, do a little bit of damage. They take out one of my Pokemon, and then I end the fight. But most of the time, Ogerpons are faster than my set. Remember, one of them was able to outspeed Fluttermane at 170, and I'm holding that to the standard. So if you want to outspeed my Fluttermane, you got to be 171, and they cap at 178 with Jolly. So that one probably wasn't, but that's where like a lot of this would probably come from. They could have easily taken that game if they would have known what my set was, or possibly like played around with it, because it's not like I couldn't do anything to that Ogerpon. It's Dazzling Gleam might have done a little bit of damage, but I don't know if it did enough to KO. Still, that is something to reference to in the future, so that's a good thing. Okay, so we've got Infernape, Empoleon, Torterra, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, and Scizor. Now this is a weird bunch of Pokemon if I've ever seen it before. Walk in with Tornado's Golden Go. No, we won't. Maybe Urshifu, because I'm assuming that Infernape is going to come out first. Well, Grimmsnarl will most likely have to come out first, so we're going to bring out Fluttermane, maybe use the Terra on that to make it so that it survives. Ogerpon for Torterra. You can also knock out Empoleon with Fluttermane, because it is, you know, water, but it's also steel, so fire could do a little bit more damage to it, but it is going to be weak against ground, so there's that. Kind of need something that withstands Bullet Punch. I mean, we could bring in Golden Go. I'm not seeing a reason not to. So we'll keep Chien-Pao and Urshifu in the back. Mostly special attackers and physical ones. I just want to make sure that I got off Tailwind and put a lot of pressure to Pokemon that I'm not 100% sure is what their deal is. So we'll see. Thank God we can only do 4 and not 6. I can't read those. Infernape and Urshifu. Like, who could have guessed? Mach Punch right away for sure. I'm gonna Bleak Wind Storm just to kind of set the mood, and I'm gonna go ahead and just retreat into Golden Go. This Fluttermane's in definite danger here, not because of like close combat or anything, but Mach Punch is a Steel type move, which is definitely gonna knock out Fluttermane. I think. I could bring in Golden Go, and I don't think it's going to do anything. Not Golden Go, but Ogerpon, but I don't think it's going to do anything. I'm going to bring out Golden Go so that he can resist the Mach Punch and not take as much damage from the supposed Surging Strikes, but that could also go over to my man Tornadus here. It could also just be like, oh, priority, I'm just going to punch you in the face a couple of times, because that's all I do is priority. So they're going to set up the Terra. And it's the Urshifu. It's going to be water. So the typical set for Urshifu. Gotcha. Surfing Strikes. They attack first. That's a scarfed Urshifu. That's good to know. My Golden Go is going to survive, so I don't have to worry about that. He's going to survive with a lot of HP left. Bleak Wind Storm is going to miss someone. I don't know who. The Infernape. But it is going to hit Urshifu a lot, and it's going to drop his speed. Will-O-Wisp goes out and does not affect Golden Go because he's good as gold. That's how it works. You got to be good as gold to get that bonus. Let's go ahead and get the Tailwind up. And Shadow Ball the Actually, we're just gonna... I'm gonna protect. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Bleak Windstorm goes first. It does. Hits both. Urshifu goes down. Almost the Inferno, but I think he holds on by a sash. Is that sash? He's got like 1 HP left. And it's not. He used Burning Jealousy instead, which then goes into the protected Golden Go, but it hits Tornadoes too. Oh, that's dope. Also, you survive with 1 HP without sash? Huh. Okay, they went ahead and sent out the next Pokemon, which is Empoleon. Windstorm still does a lot of damage, and it will hit Infernape for sure, but I don't know about Golden Go. Yeah, let's set that up. Actually, let's retreat him. Yeah, let's retreat Golden Go and bring out Ogerpon and use Bleak Wind. Bleak Wind Storm misses someone. Does take out the Infernape. Empoleon kind of looks gets to stand here and look pretty. That's dope. Hydro Pump misses. Misses Ogerpon. Okay. All right, now they've got their last Pokemon out, which is going to be a shiny Scizor. Gotcha. So I'm going to finally set up Tailwind because I know that this is going to be a thing. And I'm going to hit the shiny Scizor. Battle's canceled. Never mind. I mean, that was kind of dope. They did miss me with a lot of moves that would have done quite a bit. They didn't know that I was going to swap out into Golden Go, which good as gold makes it so he doesn't get status at all. Perfect Amoonguss counter. It's great until you bring out Weezing, and then it's like, maybe not. I'm just gonna be affected by everything. But still, that's really, really decent to know that I didn't see any priority. We did see Scarfed Urshifu, which does a lot of damage right away. I don't really know what Burning Jealousy does, so that's very, very interesting. As a tidbit, we're going to look that up right now. So, Fire, Burning Jealousy. The user attacks with anger and jealousy. This leaves all of Pokemon that had their stats boosted during the turn with a burn. Okay. 100% accurate, 70 attack, 5 PP. So you can only use it up to 8 times if you use your PP ups. So that's really, really interesting that it leaves you with a burn. Oh, that's really, really cool. But the thing is that it attacks everybody on the field. I don't know if it attacks your partner. This partner was gone by the time that it came out. It does attack everyone on my side of the field, which is huge to know for maybe something in the future. I don't know, but it's something to keep in mind in the future. Okay, so we got Delibird, Amoonguss, Salamence, Pelipper, Golden Go, and Iron Hands. Kind of interesting assortment of Pokemon. I want to know what Pelipper is going to do. First of all, I will need to outspeed a couple of people here. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just had to do some calculations in my head about certain folks. I think we leave Golden Go and Urshifu in the back, and we bring in Tornadus, Flarmane, Chien-Pao, and Golden Go. Golden Go, or not Golden Go, but Ogerpon. Ogerpon so that we can deal with Iron Hands, which may or may not be in here. Most likely will. Flarmane to take care of Pelipper, as well as that guy right there. Salamence, and Monsieur Iron Bondur. Here comes Booster Energy. Okay. So let's go ahead and taunt. That's a good question. I think I have to go. Let's do that to maybe get Fluttermane to survive. And then we'll hit Iron Bundle. I'm taunting to prevent Tailwind. And I'm hoping that Freeze Dry will allow me to survive a little bit longer. This could be like an Icy Wind Iron Bundle. Taunt stops the Salamence, hopefully, from doing Tailwind. Icy Wind does come out. So it drops the speed. Cannot Tailwind, so we did prevent that. Here comes the Thunderbolt. Into the Iron Bundle, knocks it out. I wanted to prevent the Freeze Dry knockout on the Tornadus in the event that something was to happen. That was the idea. I just wanted to prevent that. Now I could Tailwind in peace and not really care as much. Ooh. I could Bleak when you brought the rain. Oh, but I have to Tailwind first. Tailwind first. Don't get super excited, me. Salamence can't hurt Fluttermane, so I'm safe there. They're probably going to try to do Tailwind with that Pokemon. I don't know why you would, but the 100% Hurricanes is going to hurt quite a bit. With your Salamence. Good call. Bring out your last Pokemon. Golden Go. Okay. Shiny. Okay. I do not see a difference. Just saying, I don't see a difference. Thunderbolt brings the Pelipper down to its sash. Paralyze. That's lucky. Hurricane on the Fluttermane. That's a decent amount of damage. Absolutely decent amount. I'm just gonna do Bleak Wind. Swap to Ogerpon. Pelipper's gonna go down here unless it protects. It could. But I definitely have the advantage because I don't have to worry about anything. And Shadow Ball is no longer gonna do anything. I'm not out there for make it rain, so hopefully Ogerpon is able to withstand that damage a little bit. We'll see. You tried to paralyze or protect, I'm sorry. Okay, paralyze. Couldn't make it so you couldn't protect. Crit on, I guess, the Pelipper. Not sure. Nasty Plot. So you are a Nasty Plot set. Dope. You're alive? A leftover set. Okay. Alright. I can't taunt him. Good as Gold says no. Out comes Salamence again. I have 2 more turns for Tailwind. I'm just gonna say no to you. A Spiky Shield. That's what I'm gonna do. Is you're probably gonna Terra Dragon now with the Golden Go? It would make sense. But you know I have Fluttermane in the back, so it's not like I'm not gonna be able to use it. Here comes the Terra. The Salamence. You're gonna save it. Make it flying. Okay. Okay. I see you. Maybe for air slash, maybe acrobatics. Spiky shield so I don't receive any flying damage. Golden Gull's gonna protect. Good call. Good thing I protected and didn't like go into it. Taunt again. Prevent you from doing Tailwind. Use Hurricane instead, which goes right into that protect. Okay. Tailwind lasts for one more turn. We're just gonna go on the onslaught now. And I'm gonna try to knock out this Golden Go. Weaken Storm. Does enough damage to bring them both down to half. Drops the speed for the Salamence, which is great. Here comes the Ivy Cudgel right into the Golden Go. Does not get the KO. You are a bulky boy. Bulky, bulky, bulky. Hurricane. It's right into the Ogerpon, which is gonna get the KO. Absolutely. Shadow Ball right into the Tornadus. Yep. Bulky boy. That's a pretty good, that's a pretty good, Golden Go you have there. It's a pretty good one. Okay, you know about Fluttermane, but do you know about Chin Pao? Probably not. Shadow Ball. Not Shadow Ball, but Thunderbolt. Oh, Shadow Ball. I mean, Shadow Ball's gonna hurt the Golden Go a lot. But I'm more concerned about that guy over there. And then I'm going to Sucker Punch the Golden Go. There's a stoke difference between both Pokemon. So Golden Go is going to protect, which is good. I'm going to Sucker Punch, which is going to fail. And then Fluttermane is going to attack over Salamence, knock him out. And the rain has stopped. All right. Sucker Punch. It's going to fail because he's using Nasty Plot. Good call. Thunderbolt. To knock it out with the crit. It was kind of like that trainer was kind of in a rough spot. I have Sucker Punch, which is a priority move, which is going to knock out Golden Go. You also had Fluttermane, who is spec Thunderbolting, which is an effective move. It's not resisted, so it is what it is. But I didn't want to dedicate the resources to Shadow Ball, although that would have probably been a little bit better. But it is what it is. We came out strong in that, so that's cool. Let's get into our next match. Okay, got Cresselia, Chin Pao, Iron Bundle, Landorus. This is the incarnate form. That's neat. Heatran and Dragonite. I do not see a reason for Trick Room, so Cresselia is probably not going to be set up as that. It's probably set up more as like the healer of the group, like Lunar Blessing and maybe Ally Switch or Helping Hand, and using Icy Wind to lower down the speed. We'll walk in with like, I think Golden Go is going to be like the best. Because then I can like Nasty Plot plus get Tailwind up, plus I can deal with no, Golden Go's not going to do very much. You know what? We'll bring in the Ghosts, Chin Pao, and Tornadus. Because there's Dragonite, and I need to be able to knock out Dragonite whenever I need to. And while they don't have a fake out user, I do need answers for like Heatran as well. So I'm going to try to bait the Terra and hopefully get what I need from this match. It's going to be very difficult, but I think we could do it. Dragonite, Cresselia. Tornadus, Chin Pao. Okay. So we do have to worry about extreme speed right away. I can also taunt, because right now I do outspeed them. Let's try taunting the Cresselia, see what happens. And then we'll swap to Golden Go. We'll do that. We'll see what happens. Because if it is extreme speed, Chien Pao is going to lower down defenses for my Tornadus. And I don't want that. So I'm hoping that I can do something with this bunch. They're going to Terra. It is going to be the Dragonite. And it is Steel. Okay. So you're not the typical extreme speed? Maybe? I did bait the Terra, so I don't have to worry about Terra shenanigans. Moonblast goes right into Golden Goat. Not very effective. Iron Head, which is going to go straight into Golden Go as well. Not very effective. So you were hoping to double into the Chien Pao slot, thinking that it was something else. Interesting. Well, now that, you know, Cresselia is taunted, I don't really have to worry about that Pokemon. But Terra Steel, I don't know what your item is. So we'll get set up with the Tailwind. And then I'm not really afraid of you per se. And if you're not expanded, Golden Go is gonna take a lot of damage here because you're most likely running Stomping Tantrum. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Let's give out a couple of more turns. Okay, they whiz through Cresselia. Right out Iron Bundle. Booster Energy activates. Speed was heightened. We'll protect here. Activate Tailwind. So now I'm faster. Ice Spinner. So you're not banded at all. That's good to know. Swap to Chien Pao. And let's go ahead and make it rain on that side of the field. It should be faster than the Dragonite, so Golden Go might go down here if it has Stomping Tantrum. Could also use Earthquake. I don't know why it would, but it could. If it uses Earthquake, you guessed it. But if it's Stomping Tantrum into the Golden Go, I don't think you'll knock me out. You're not banded. So I'm led to believe something else. In comes Chien Pao. Lowers the defenses. Icy Wind comes out. Not very effective, but it is going to drop my speed down one stage on both Pokemon, which is unfortunate. Make It Rain comes out. Does not KO the Iron Bundle, but does bring it down to 1 HP. You Earthquake! Knock out your own Pokemon, get Golden Go down to like 8, and then you do very little damage to Chien Pao. That's insane. Bro, wow, okay. Golden Go standing strong though. I definitely do appreciate that. That's dope. So, you can bring it out now. These matches are exciting. I don't know about you guys. Cresselia comes back. Dragonite took a little bit of damage. Was that due to Life Orb? So I don't know what the fourth is. Terra flying Sacred Sword into the Dragonite. And I'm going to protect on Golden Go. Because if it's Earthquake again, I don't want to play that game. That's going to do a lot of damage. And I don't want to give him a reason to heal to maybe get multi-scale back. If that's the play. Extreme Speed into Chien Pao does not get the KO, but does a lot of damage. You're faster? Is Tailwind gone? I don't think it's gone. Did it wear out? Icy Wind though, so we kind of guessed that from Cresselia. Absolutely. $163 doubled. Interesting. Now I'll bring out Fluttermane. Let's check to see. Is it done? It's not done. They were just faster for some odd reason. Interesting. Shadow Ball. Yeah, Shadow Ball into the Cresselia. And I'm gonna switch to Tornadus to get the -1 off of Golden Go. And if it is like another call to like maybe do an Earthquake, because then Fluttermane will take a little bit of damage, but it's not gonna KO it at all. Icy Wind, a little bit of damage to Fluttermane. It is gonna knock out Tornadus, which is unfortunate. I was really hoping to get a couple more turns. Iron Head, nope. This Dragonite, who's been out here since the beginning of the match, is now becoming annoying. But at the same time, I'm not 100% sure how that Dragonite was able to outspeed my own... Not Dragonite, duh. It's Extreme Speed. Figured that out already. Kinda dumb. I'm surprised that Cresselia was able to outspeed my Chien Pao. Even with the -1, it's 163 times 2. I'm gonna put that in just so I can kind of understand. Chien Pao. I have it like 60. Yeah, 60. So with the double protect, or what the protect is able to stop me from getting hit. I think we're just gonna make it rain and hope for the best. Icy Wind. There's very little damage to the Golden Go. Here comes maybe Iron Head. Nope, Earthquake, and it misses. Oh no, Levitate. I mean, they got this match. I couldn't do anything to Dragonite, unfortunately. I did have outs, but I wasn't 100% sure what happened there. All right, so it is what it is. It was a great match. It definitely tried to, like, made me think outside the box. I wish I was able to do a little bit more, but that's a really good use of Dragonite. Guys, you're watching this, take note on that Dragonite there. That was pretty dope. Okay, here's the sitch. I've also could have sucker punched the Cresselia. Who knew that Cresselia was more offensive than defensive? That was dope. Like that. So here's the sitch about Tailwind. Okay, so at 163 times 2, that's 326. At -1, it brings it down to 216. That's a drop, but it's still feasible than what we're expecting. That means that Cresselia was higher than 216. That means EVs, it had to have at least 109 and Scarf. Not 109. It has to be 216. So to beat 216, I actually don't know. Okay, so here's the calc. At 216 EVs, Timid, that's less speed minus attack, you get 145. Not 400, 145. Scarfed makes it 217. Chien Pao got hit with it once and only once. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt and go -2, which puts it back at normal, -1 point, which means even if they invested 0, scarfing it puts it at 172. With no speed investment, choice scarf makes it 172 speed, which then would make sense to outspeed Chien Pao. But I'm in my memory, I only remember getting like the downgrade once and not twice. And Chien Pao was just recently put on the field. Unless it got hit with it again for Iron Bundle, then that would make it -2. But the only way that Cresselia can beat me is that if it was Scarf with no investment, put it at 172. But still, -2. We'll revisit the video, but still, it's a really good match. There's a little bit of tidbit, and let's see what happens after this. We've got Mimikyu, Basculegion, Sinistcha, Hisuian Zoroark, Goldengo, and Sableye. Sableye, my arch nemesis. No, it's just someone that was really, really hard. I want to say Trick Room's the game, but I'm not sure. I don't see anyone that's going to be able to control speed. Basculegion is going to take advantage of like maybe Rain Dance. Let's open up with Urshifu Ogerpon. Seems like a good guesstimation of what I'd like to do. Fluttermane in case if I have to worry about Fake Out, which they do have one. And let's bring in Chien Pao. We'll leave Goldengo and Tornadus at home. I don't know what this team is going to do, but it's very, very interesting to say the least. Super interesting. Oh, that's adorable. Okay. Can't rate those, but we have Goldengo and Sinistcha. There's this Urshifu and Ogerpon. Swap this out immediately so that we can bring in... Oof. I don't really have anyone that's going to be able to take advantage of this, honestly. I could protect on the Urshifu. And then Ivy Cudgel the Sinistcha. They're gonna Terra. It's gonna be the Sinistcha for sure. They could do Goldengo. Oh, they do. Okay, cool. Dope. Steel. So you are basing this off this choice, most likely a choice spec Terra Steel type. I'm not gonna take any damage because I wanna live. So we're to protect. Make It Rain goes off. You're faster than Ogerpon. Oh yeah, well if you're 252, you need in the two things, obviously. Special attack goes down. Bitter Malice. You're faster than Ogerpon too. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of damage there. Oh, you're Hisuian Zoroark. Interesting. So in close combat, first let's Terra Water. Close combat, that guy. I don't know, a Spiky Shield, the Ogerpon. That would be why. So okay, they're gonna swap. It is going to be Sinistcha. Yep. So you called that one right. Shiny, that's dope. You called that one right. I was gonna close combat that slot, and I can't now. Definitely can't now. Spiky Shield's activated. Shadow Sneak. There's very little damage to Urshifu. Close combat does nothing. Protect. Swap. We need to get Ogerpon out. I can withstand, or I can have Urshifu stand up a little bit longer, but I cannot let Ogerpon get any more damage. The Zoroark is really, really fast. Bring out Chien-Pao. That way we can kind of force a couple of moves here if we need to. Protect. Better Malice. Not very effective. Does drop his attack, which is unfortunate. But here comes the Matcha Gotcha. Does nothing to the Urshifu because he's protected. Surging Strikes on that guy. And I'm going to Ice Spinner into Sinistra. They've already Terra'd, so I don't have to worry about that. Now you can swap and go to like Golden Go and take little damage on either Urshifu or the Ice Spinner coming out. But that's your options. Curse. Puts a curse on Chien-Pao. Kills itself. Okay. Ice Spinner. Goes into that slot. Loses some HP because of Life Orb. Here comes Surging Strikes, which is Terra Water. And I believe this Pokemon's going to go down. No Rocky Helm that I know of. Hit 2 times. Woo! Curse is no joke. That is no joke. Okay. Asky Legion. Close combat there. And I'm almost gone, so I'm just going to attack the Basket Legion with Sucker Punch. There's no point to try to save Chien-Pao, which is really, really sad because I would like to send him back, but again, there's no point. And I want to try to prevent last resorts if possible. So with Chien-Pao's Dying Breath, we could try to save one of them. Sucker Punch hits Basket Legion, does get the one-hit KO. They go down due to Life Orb. So now they didn't get knocked out by the opponent, they knocked themselves out. Thank you, Chien-Pao. Shadow Ball. So you're faster than... Okay. Woo! Close combat. Oh! Strong! You're faster than 163. Interesting. Not a bad matchup. Due to my quick thinking, we were able to come out on top of that. It was really, really rough not having Tailwind, but at the same time, it puts all the speeds that I am predicting to use into perspective. So without Tailwind, the whole basis of the team, can my team still do a lot of good? And it's proven that it can. Absolutely can. So I don't want to give myself a pat on the back, but I definitely do feel proud that I'm able to still stand even with not even using Tailwind. So that's cool. Get into our next match. Okay, we got Rillaboom, Fluttermane, Milotic, Iron Hands, Roaring Moon, and Hisuian Arcanine. Dope. Okay. Can't necessarily like taunt the Roaring Moon, but I do need to be able to outspeed whatever they're trying to do. So we're gonna totally bring out a Tornadus, and I would like to say Urshifu, but I don't know if Urshifu is gonna be that guy. It's Rillaboom I can counter. If it's Roaring Moon I can counter. If it's Arcanine I can counter. Yeah, Chien-Pao, Fluttermane, and Ogerpon. We'll leave Chien-Pao, or not Chien-Pao, we'll leave Urshifu and Golden Go in the back. I do not think those two are going to be very helpful to us. I do have 2 fake out users that I have to worry about, and someone that's going to use Wild Charge. So the fake out, or not the fake out, but the switch to like Ogerpon to put pressure on the Milotic is going to be very, very helpful here. Plus they're going to take advantage of like Grassy Surge. So they open with both their fake out users. Let's go. Okay. Sword of Ruin goes off. Grassy Surge goes off. Tornadus is kind of looking silly. With that being said, though, oh, that's a question. Tailwind. Swap to Fluttermane. That way I don't have to worry about the fake out. They'll probably open up with 2 fake outs, but that's really, really asking for a lot. I think one of them is going to be Wizard of the Willow-Boom, so 1 less fake out that I have to worry about, so that's cool. Sunset of the Arcanine. Did they call it with the Iron Hands doing Heavy Slam into Fluttermane? No fake out. Okay. So Fluttermane takes no damage. Oh, every one of my teammates are weak against Arcanine, which is not great at all. Hit there. I want to Terra Fire. I really want to. I think Moonblast is the best thing that I have. Yeah, I have to click it. I'm going to have to say goodbye to one or both my Pokemon. Okay, Bleak Wind Storm hits both of them. I don't think it's enough to take out the Iron Hands, though, but I do drop his speed. My Moonblast, bop, does not get the KO, though. Rock Slide comes in, knocks out the Tornadus, and here comes the Heavy Slam into Fluttermane, which is what I really want to try to prevent. But if I Terra Fired, Rock Slide would have done way more. Absolutely way more, and it would have wrecked me. So I am absolutely sure with this outcome. I mean, I have to be. Like, I didn't want to lose both, but I had to. I put Iron Hands in a really, really good predicament, and I can open up with Ogerpon and Chien-Pao now and clean up the game, hopefully. So Chien-Pao is going to go ahead and use Sacred Sword on the Arcanine, and Stomping Tantrum is going to go right into the Iron Hands. Iron Hands gets swapped to bring out someone else, or Arcanine gets swapped and bring into someone else. But this is the best way that I could go. One or both of these Pokemon get knocked out here. So it just really depends on them what they would like to do. Honestly, or probably swap out the Arcanine to bring in maybe like Rillaboom just to take the Sacred. Yeah, which is sounds like what they're doing. Sacred Sword goes right into that slot. Whoa, it's crit. Wow. That's a lot of damage. Stomping Tantrum goes right into that slot. So Iron Hands goes down, and that brings out Arcanine to lower my guys' attacks 1 stage. I do have to worry about Fake Out still. So the question is, who do I Fake Out with, and who would be like the person I would have to worry about? Because Grassy Glide can also do a lot of damage, but to who? To who is the question. Protect. Stomping. They're gonna Terra. Probably the Arcanine. Yep. He goes Terra Fairy. Okay. Protecting. Hopefully the Fake Out went over to Chien-Pao. Grassy Glide did go to Chien Pao. Okay. Okay. Good call. Stomping Tantrum. Not enough damage, but here comes the Rock Slide, which is going to miss Chien Pao. Gonna hurt Ogerpon a lot. Ugh. Now I don't have to worry about the fake out coming from Rillaboom, which should make this attack so much easier on the Arcanine. Yeah, we're gonna go after the Arcanine. Grassy Glide. Still a lot of damage, but not enough. Here comes Ice Spinner. We're gonna take out the Grassy Field. KO the Arcanine with a crit. Let's go. Lost some HP. That disappears. Sends out Roaring Moon. Booster Energy activates. And it is Speed. Hey, Roaring Moon, let's have some fun. I'm pretty sure this trainer that I'm playing against won this match. But I'm gonna Terra now. I don't think they'd use their Terra either. But let's have some fun. They can swipe. Well, it was fun while it lasted. It was a nice try. It was a really good match. I brought them down to the last two, which is really, really good. If maybe if I sucker punched the if I sucker punched the Rillaboom, it would have went down, obviously. It would have been Arcanine and Monsieur Roaring Moon there. However, I'm an ice type. Ice is weak against rock, I think. Probably, and I didn't want to take that much damage. Plus, I haven't used my Terra yet, so it is what it is. It was a really good match. I do believe I did the best that I could, facing off Iron Hands and Rillaboom just right off the bat, and then try to get over that hurdle. If you can make your opponent like try to go through hurdles, you are automatically like one step ahead, in my opinion. And while I was making my way to come back, but I didn't have the momentum enough to get there. As soon as he Terra'd, it was the Arcanine that had it. Right, he did Terra already. As soon as he Terra'd the Arcanine, I didn't have an out. Like, I couldn't knock out his Arcanine. I don't have a poison, attack to be able to take care of it. I only have Golden Go, and he wasn't on the team, so at least in that match. So it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, next match. Okay, we've got Klefki, Gallade, Hisuian Gudra, Roaring Moon, Landorus Therian, and Chi-Yu. Okay. I think that Klefki is going to be using Magic Room. Gotta love it when people are using that tech now. It's going to be very, very interesting. We'll bring in Tornadus, Fluttermane, Ogerpon, and we'll bring in Urshifu. Urshifu can take out Landorus. Chi-Yu can do a little bit of damage to Hisuian Gudra, but I'm mostly focusing on like maybe Gallade and Klefki. Klefki maybe because of the fact that he can use a Magic Room, but we'll see. Opens up with Gallade, Klefki, Fluttermane, and Tornadus. Taunt over to Klefki. Wait. Gallade knows Quick Guard. That stops priority. It's also part fighting. Yeah, Tailwind. Switch over to Ogerpon. We'll get Fluttermane out of there. Gallade's weak against Fluttermane, obviously, but I don't want Klefki to use Steel Beam, which would do a lot of damage, costing half its health. They're gonna Terra. Okay. It's Klefki. To make it dark. Okay. You are preventing me from taunting you. You are definitely going to be using Magic Room. Absolutely. I'm going to Tailwind instead. Light Screen. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use that then. And I'm going to Ivy Cudgel the... Sorry for the pause. Galley. Reflect. So it brought up the screens. Liquid Storm. Make sure that Gallade lives. Eject button on the Klefki. Interesting. So it takes damage, it swaps out with someone else on its team. Out comes the Gudra. Okay. Ivy Cudgel. Take out the Gallade. I don't think Klefki uses Magic Room now. Still could, but I don't think it does. Taunt the Gudra, so it can't use Shelter. It's not being Tantrum the Gudra. Can also use Mental Herb here. Spikes. Okay. I see what you're doing, Klefki. I don't think you have an attack on you. But taunting you prevents me from... water? Not very effective. Accuracy fell on Ogerpon. Do have... I'll set that up. And we'll continue our onslaught with the Hisuian Gudra. You do have an attack. It's not very much. That one's gone. I think we're going to be okay now. This is 100%. Still does a ton of damage. Gudra goes down. Dazzling Gleam knocks down Tornadus. Ogerpon is getting a little bit weaker, but he still stands strong. Light Screen worn off? You don't say. Well, he's going to put it right back up, but you don't say. Now that I know what the 4 attacks are, I don't have anything to fear. And this Roaring Moon's going to get hit for a lot. An absolute ton. Speed was heightened, that's totally fine. Dazzling Gleam. And Spiky Shield. Follow me for Ogerpon would have been great here. So Acrobatics comes in and does knock out the Fluttermane. It was a crit. There's no one's going to survive a crit. Dazzling Gleam. Urshifu is hurt by spikes. All right, let's try it. Terra Water. Hopefully I don't get super affected against acrobatics here. It does do a little bit more damage. But his speed was heightened, not his attack. Fleck goes up. Breaking Swipe. It's enough to KO the Ogerpon. Down goes Roaring Moon. Even with Reflect and all those buffs. Battle's canceled. Now that one was a good game. I honestly thought that he had me, or at least Roaring Moon would be able to survive a little bit. But I guess Roaring Moon automatically falls to a Urshifu. Because that was Reflect, which lowers the damage by 50%, and then -1. So just saying, that's a lot of damage that was supposedly negated, and yet I knocked him out. I don't recall if it was a crit. If it was a crit, that was awesome. If it was not a crit, then that's something to look at for sure. But Klefki was next after that. I was hoping to knock out Klefki well before that, but it is what it is. But that wasn't a bad match. Definitely made me think outside the box. I got to see a little bit more what Klefki can do when you Terra Dark. I think using your Terra on Klefki specifically lowers your chances of success, but he's a prankster and he does deserve his praise whenever he earns it. He did really, really well there. I honestly thought he was going to be the Magic Room build, but he's not. He's a pretty good screener and does Dazzling Gleam, which is great, and can also do something else. What else did he do? I don't remember his fourth move. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. That was good. That's dope. So it looks like we got Roaring Moon, Moongus, Iron Hands, Fluttermane, Hisuian Arcanine, and Dodonzo. Oh, okay. So no Tatsugiri, but I do have to deal with Dodonzo, which is kind of hard to deal with my team. I don't really have a strong electric type, so it's going to be able to do it since it's pure water, and it'll most likely have like either Terra Ground for Terra Dragon, or even the better option of Terra Fairy, which then would make it really, really hard to deal with this team. Okay, so Tornadus, Fluttermane to open, Ogerpon to substitute. Actually, no, not Ogerpon. Urshifu to substitute in, and Chien Pao. I think that's gonna be the best option that I have for this team. Chien Pao can take out Amoonguss. Fluttermane can take out Roaring Moon as well. Do a little bit of damage to Dodonzo, but can potentially one-shot Arcanine, since he is weak against fighting. But I'm hoping that Urshifu can alleviate some of that from this team. So we'll see how everything goes out. Okay, it's very, very interesting how this team is going to go against theirs. And I've been needed to do like updates for my team. Since it is the holiday weekend, I'll have more time to do that, which is great. About time. Can't read those, so it's Iron Hands, Arcanine. So since I woke up with a fake out user, I have a problem with Arcanine immediately, because there's no real way that I can deal with him. I mean, there is, but there isn't, but I have to deal with Iron Hands immediately. So what I want to do is Bleak Wind, because I do outspeed. Might have... Actually, we're not going to deal with him completely. Tornadus is going to go ahead and Rain Dance to lower down the fire attacks. I'm going to switch into Urshifu so that I can maybe start applying pressure immediately. Because Wild Charge could come out of the Iron Hands, but he's probably going to put that into Tornadus, which means I won't have Tailwind, but I don't think anyone on that side is going to be using Tailwind. I mean, Roaring Moon could, It is incredibly bulky, so it's not like he won't be able to get it off. But at least this way I could do a Terra, like as we're doing right now. It's gonna go to the Iron Hands. Change the Terra from, oh, it's gonna go to Poison. Okay. Okay. I don't have Ogre Pawn, so this is kind of sucky for me, but it is what it is. But we'll do Rain Dance. No Fake Out. Rock Slide. So this is probably the Wild Charge, or was this a Heavy Slam? Wild Charge over to the Tornadus. So figure that's what was gonna happen. But we did get the Terra early. We did get the Terra early. That's all planned on. What? Yeah, Chien-Pao. I mean, I can't. I would like to look if possible, but it won't let me. Okay, so potentially I'm leaving myself up some for options. Okay. Let's go ahead and ice. No, protect on Chien-Pao. Terra Surging Strikes on the Arcanine. Arcanine could possibly switch out here and go into Dodonzo, which then that would be a great read. It's the only real target that I can go after. I don't really have anyone that's going to be able to take out Poison. So it's like Fairy and Poison I don't have answers for. And it's really, really hard to come back with that. It doesn't look like there's a switch in. So Surging Strikes is going to end up taking out the Urshifu, the Arcanine, but it's not going to do anything to Iron Hands. Rock Slide comes out, no flinch. So he is scarfed. But the one shot goes, takes out the Arcanine. Hit one time. Painted. Wild Charge into that slot. It is good. Super effective, obviously. It's like I knew that. I knew that. But I was hoping he would go after the Chien-Pao with like Drain Punch or something, because he's also an easy target. That ain't the case. Now I have a Heavy Slam target and a Drain Punch target, and none of these are good. None of them are. So, Fluttermane. I can't read that. Rain Moon? Dodonzo. Oh, Dodonzo? Okay. I could deal with that. Let's go ahead and Ice Spinner the Iron Hands and just Thunderbolt the Dodonzo. That sounds like a good idea. Thunderbolt. Does not get the KO. Oh, but paralyzes. That's dope. I'm not expecting that all the time. Ice Spinner into... Oof. Into the Iron Hands there. Drain Punch. KO's Chien-Pao. There's no way to survive that for Chien-Pao. It's ×4. Dark and Ice are weak against fighting types. It's like, and Wave Crash to end it all. Pop. Because it is in the rain. I think rain does boost water attacks. I don't think so though. I know it does buff like some accuracy, but yeah, this was not a good one for me. I wish I was able to like combat a little bit more, but I just can't. Some teams I just don't do really well, which is why I was like, I need to update my team, because obviously some Pokemon are really, really good, and then there's other Pokemon that aren't. So it's just can't win them all. But still a good match. Something to learn off of. We'll look back at this and be like, why didn't I use this team before? Why didn't I make those switches? Anyway, next match. Okay, so we got Chien-Pao, Hisuian Arcanine, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Tornadus, and Fluttermane. This is a little bit more than what I'm used to seeing, so this is going to be very, very interesting. That being said, however, do you have Pokemon that I have to deal with, and I'm not sure how. Tornadus, Chien Pao, Golden Go, and Ogerpon. That's how I'll deal with it. That's how I'll deal with it. Golden Go is able to withstand a lot of different attacks, is resistant, if not neutral, to Urshifu, Rillaboom, Tornadus. So he's not going to get hit per se. I also negate Chien Pao with a lot of the moves. And I also ignore Fluttermane for a good portion of the time. Can't read those. Arcanine and Chien Pao, let's go. Okay. So in this case, Intimidate goes off, and it does affect the Chien Pao negatively, which is terrible. We're gonna go ahead and activate Tailwind so that we go faster. The -1, should I switch over? Let's get the Tailwind. Hopefully they don't do taunts or hasn't scarfed their Tornadus. So they did not. So I got my Tailwind off first. Taunt goes after. So that's a good call. Bleak Windstorm's the only thing I can do, but I am using Ice Spinner into that slot. Pop. Does KO the Tornadus. And Chien Pao is hurt by the Rocky Helmet. Faints, and then I get hit with Life Orb. But I don't think I'll faint from Rock Slide from Arcanine. We'll see. Oh yeah, it's a double knockout. Never mind. Never mind, folks. Just wow. Even though I had terrible experiences with Hisui and Arcanine, everyone else has like brilliant plays with him, and it's astounding. I think he's probably more natural at using Rock Slide than Garchomp was. So that's probably what was going on, is that I did the wrong set for him and made it so that he wasn't successful at all. So maybe in the future, if I do use him again, I need to plan around that and not be so reluctant to change, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the nasty plot. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the nasty plot, because I'm gonna get like a double dose of healing. And I'm gonna Stomping Tantrum the Arcanine. I do outspeed him currently, so it's not like I'm not gonna do a decent amount of damage. I wish I was able to hit him last turn, but that Rock Slides though. Choice Band and Rock Slides? It's harsh. Oh yeah, that's right. Fake out. That's okay. Nasty Plot's still gonna do like its job and raise his attack 2 stages, and Rock Slide goes in. Not super effective against the Golden Go, but it is super effective against the Ogerpon, which is very, very, very unfortunate. But if it is banded, he can't attack anything more than what he's done right now, and I am now a +2. Make It Rain is gonna hurt a lot. This might KO both of them right here. We'll see. That could be an Assault Vest build or Rillaboom, but I am almost 100% certain that Arcanine is banded. With your Arcanine, probably suggests that he's banded. Urshifu comes out and it's Rapid Strike. Both drop to half? Bro, what? Here comes the Wood Hammer. Not very effective. You are damaged by that recoil so much. Do I have Tailwind for one more turn? I think I do. I do. So I do outspeed them. I vote for one more turn. So let's go ahead and just do it again. This might KO the Urshifu. I mean, Aqua Jet could go also into that slot, and so could Grassy Glide. I do not know if they're going to get the KO, though, because they do resist grass attacks. Not necessarily Aqua Jet, but We'll see. Detect from the Urshifu. Gonna make it so that he doesn't get attacked from the Make It Rain and puts him at a better advantage. But this is definitely gonna knock out the Rillaboom. It's gonna bring in the Arcanine, and that's gonna reset his band. So he probably will have like Flare Blitz or Head Smash. Most likely Flare Blitz. That one's gone. Intimidate. So we go with the Make It Rain. They're probably going to think that I'm spec'd, which is why they're not like so hesitant, but we'll see. That Terra, and it's going to be for the Urshifu, and it's going to be water. Good call. Excellent call. Excellent call. I'm going to Terra to Dragon with a voice crack. And hopefully this will make it so that I can withstand a little bit more damage since the Rillaboom's gone. Surging Strikes, they do outspeed me now. That was a crit. I mean, they're all crits, but it's not super effective. Hit 3 times. Flare Blitz. Not very effective. See, that's what I was trying to prevent. It's like three not very effective hits can still do a ton, and then a Flare Blitz, it's also not very effective, can seemingly knock him out. It's gotta be banded. No way that it's not. Absolutely no shot. Still a good match though. I'm not calced correctly for Arcanine, like at all. So that's gonna be something that I do in the next couple of days. I'm gonna start calcing my guys to be able to withstand Arcanine, because he's choice banned or not, he's a problem for my team, especially him and Heatran both. I could deal with Rillaboom. I could deal with Iron Hands, but those two, not so much. Anyways, next match. Okay, we got Tornadus, Golden Go, Water Ogerpon, Landorus, Iron Hands, and Heatran. Look at here. One of the Pokemon I have troubles dealing with. Okay. What should I do here? It's so strange. Like, let's go ahead and do Tornadus, Ogerpon, Blattermane, and Golden Go. I have to be able to outspeed them. I don't really care about Intimidate. Ogerpon cares about that stuff, but the rest of the team isn't going to, which is fine. That team is mostly special attackers and 2 physical attackers. So I have to keep that in mind going forward. As long as they're not taking down my own special attack, this should be easy-ish to deal with. But again, it's up in the air. I'm not 100% sure, but I do need to beat the speed tier. So we got Ogerpon and Tornadus versus Iron Hands and Heatran. So Heatran is definitely on blast for sure. We're gonna go ahead and do Rain Dance, and I'm going to protect on Ogerpon. I kind of want to go for the straight Fire Terra, but if I lose Mold Breaker, I can't hit this Iron Hand or this Heatran. I can hit Iron Hands, but not Heatran, because he's most likely got Flash Fire, which negates all fire attacks against him unless people have Mold Breaker. I think other things go through that as well. I'm not 100%, but we'll see. Heatran leaves. Bring out someone else I cannot read. Landorus. So you got the -1 on my 2 Pokemon there. Spike and Shield goes up because I'm thinking the Fake Out's gonna go to that slot. No Fake Out. Goes straight for knocking out Tornadus instead. Oh, Drain Punches into the Ogerpon. Okay. Okay, I see you. That's interesting. I thought that you were going to go somewhere completely different with that. But I can go with this, I think. Stomping Tantrum really hurts. Iron Hands, but nothing else does. So I could. I mean, Landorus probably has the U-turn. Bleak Wind and Stomping Tantrum. Let's go. With through the Landorus, probably the Revolving Door of Pokemon now. So Intimidate's gone. -1 is applied. Brings right back out the Heatran. Bleak Wind Storm hits both Pokemon. Not too much damage, but it does do a decent amount. Stomping Tantrum does hit the Iron Hands. Doesn't get the KO. He's so bulky. Wild Charge goes into the Tornadus, knocks him out. So bulky. And the recoil, just a little bit of damage. Just a little bit, a wee bit of damage. And leftovers heals on the Heatran. I think now is a good time to bring in the Fluttermane. And I'm gonna swap out Ogre Pawn. Oops, almost forgot. Terra Fire. Swap out the Ogre Pawn for the Golden Ghost so that we can get the plus or the -1 taken off. He doesn't have Sword Stance, doesn't have like Follow Me or anything. I think I'm going to change my Ogre Pawn set to be like maybe a little bit more bulkier to withstand. Or I can go full on attack mode, but I can't give him an item. So I'm a little hesitant to go full on like offense. So I'll see what like a defensive build looks like on like Pikalytics and see if that's going to be like the better bet. I could also look on Pokemon Home and see what people are doing. That might be interesting to watch to see as well. But we'll bring out Golden Go. Withdrew the Iron Hands. Does not go for like a heavy slam. Brings out Landorus to give us some -1. And that's totally fine. But I'm definitely going to tear out my Fluttermane because Flash Cannon could do a lot of damage to Fluttermane. Could also do, or he could also do Heat Wave, which would do a lot of damage to Golden Go. But it is raining, so fire attacks do 50% less. They're also going to Terra. And it's going to be the Heatran. Are you? Terra Fairy. Okay. Dazzling Gleam. Does a considerable amount of damage. Here comes the Flash Cannon, which won't do anything because I'm super effective against that right now. It's like, yeah, you do nothing to me. How does it feel to be on the other side of that coin? Dazzling Gleam, and then we'll just make it rain to hit both. Spread moves, please. Here you go. Have some spread movage. Earth Power is still going to do a lot of damage to Fluttermane. So I'm hoping to knock out Heatran before that fully goes through. That's the general hope. I could swap out to maybe Ogre Pawn, but I don't think that's going to really save me because I need to either knock out this Landorus or Heatran. Either one is detrimental to my health. Heatran's going to protect. So what does Landorus do? U-turn. Doesn't do a whole lot, but it's going to bring out someone else. I'm great. I'm glad that you're using U-turn, but no, never mind. The statement was going to be like, why use U-turn when you could just hard switch? Well, that's because of that reason. Hard switching. Like you don't do any damage. This lets you do damage. So yeah, here comes Make It Rain. It's not going to do anything to the Heatran. But I might knock out this, I do not knock out the Ogre Pawn, but I get really, really close. I absolutely get close. Swap out the Fluttermane to bring out Ogre Pawn again. And we'll go for the Make It Rain to hopefully knock out the switch in. Because that's what I'm planning. I don't think Ogre Pawn's going to stay out there for very long. I think he's going to swap out to Landorus again. And then I'm going to be able to knock him out too. So depending on what they decide to do, I'm going to be hitting 2 Pokemon right here. And hopefully knock out 2 Pokemon. It's not going to be Ogerpon if he stays in. Absolutely does not do enough. But I do enough if I see someone else. If it's like Iron Hands or Landorus, I will definitely knock out them for sure. Volt Breaker comes in. Spiky Shield activates, so he's keeping Ogerpon in. What are you going to do? Make it rain? Okay, I do move before the Heat Ran. And Heat Ran's going to go down. Doesn't go down? Earth Power into the Ogerpon. Not as strong as what he would like it to be, but strong enough. Okay. So, what do we have here? Let's do Ivy Cudgel. Ivy Cudgel to the Heat Ran. And Protect on the Golden Go. Because I'm going to need to swap out here Golden Go soon. So I get the refresh. Ivy Cudgel on the Heat Ran is going to knock it out. No Flash Fire for you. The -1 made it so that he'd survive, which is really, really interesting. But the Horn Leech will go into the Golden Go, which is protected. So none of that. Sent out Landorus. Spiky Shield here. And Shadow Ball there. I don't want to use Make It Rain. I don't know the speed of their Ogerpon, but I'm assuming it's going to be like, hey, I'm going to Spiky Shield here. Stomping Tantrum into the Golden Go, which is going to not knock him out. Gets really, really close, though. Ivy Cudgel does go into the protected Ogerpon, and here comes the Shadow Ball into that Landorus slot. Doesn't get the KO, are you kidding me? And that -2 is really messing with me now. It's not a good idea. Let's do Wood Hammer on the Ogerpon. No, we're gonna do Ivy Cudgel on the Ogerpon. And we're gonna Protect on the Golden Go because I have to swap. I do have to swap. Eventually I do have to get Golden Go out of there. The -2 is gonna really, really hurt me. Follow me. Totally cool with that. I was attacking you anyway. Stomping Tantrum goes into the Protect. Found out the other way, by the way. Encore does not reset the damage for that move. When you protected, it does not get the boost. I thought you got it because the attack would fail. It's anything else but Protect. So Detect, Endure, Protect, none of those proc that secondary move or that secondary stat thing. It's always going to be something else. So just keep that in mind. Okay. We're going to go ahead and Spiky Shield here. Swap to Fluttermane. Because he's going to have to fake out Ogerpon. Or just ignore it altogether, but I'm getting him out. So that the -2 is no longer there. Fake out goes into the protected Ogerpon. And the Stomping Tantrum. It's probably going to go into that slot. Yep. Goes into the Fluttermane. Does knock it out. It is super effective. I'm sorry, Fluttermane. I was going to try to save you to like the very end to come in and like do a lot of damage. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe that was like the better play. So I'm going to attack into that guy, and I'm going to protect here. Trying to save Golden Go from a fate that I don't really want him to go through. He should have went down last turn so that Fluttermane had the free switch in, but he's only doing Stomping Tantrums. I think that he's Scarfed, which then would have not have made a difference. But I am going to take him out now and force Iron Hands to kind of deal with the problem. Drain Punch goes into Ogerpon, which is going to get a little bit of HP, but not enough. I shouldn't say enough, but not a lot. But both of my Pokemon now attack faster than he does. So that was kind of like the other thing I had. Like, okay, I have to take out the faster Pokemon first so that I can deal with the Pokemon now. And here we go. Stomping Tantrum from a -1. Does barely make it so he doesn't, like, die. That's such a bulky Iron Hands. A -1 doing barely anything to a super weak move. That's huge. But we did get the dub. It was a hard fought match, but we eventually did get the dub. I'm not sure what that set was, but I want to do as much research into that now and see if I can replicate it or have like a better idea of dealing with it. It was a really nice set, and I'm very, very happy to come across it. So nice match. Keep that in mind, guys. That's a really good one. And we'll get to the next match. Yeah, we've got Tyranitar, Cornerstone Ogerpon, so the rock version, Scizor, Landorus incarnate form, Salamence, and Gastrodon himself. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a weather war coming on, but it would be very interesting to upset that a little bit. So we're gonna bring in let's bring in for their team here specifically. I don't think Tyranitar is going to be entered. It would not make any sense for him to be entered. We'll open up with Tornadus, Urshifu, Fluttermane, and Ogerpon. We're gonna try to create an open so that we can get rid of Storm Drain, and I think that's what's gonna allow us to win against Gastrodon, because he's gonna be ×4 to grass. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Okay, Scizor and Tyranitar. They're ignoring the weather thing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just do Rain Dance and Outspeed. And then I'm going to go ahead and probably take down the Scizor, to be honest. I think he's going to be the Pokemon I'm going to have to deal with first. I mean, T-Tart could also like Terra flying and just like wreck my face. So I'm going to take advantage of the Terra Water and roll forward with my choice. So I think that's what's going to happen. I'm definitely going to change the weather though, because this sand needs to go away, because that's a special defense boost to both T-Tar, and I think it'll also give that to Scizor, because I think it does steel types as well than just rocked. But we'll find out. Bullet Punch is also like a move I'm going to be weary of, but we'll see. We're going to put ourselves like immediately in the driver's seat though, and do a lot of pressure really, really quickly. We're going to ignore Tailwind, but I'll put it up next turn. Bullet Punch. Does hit, not very effective. Surging Strikes. Go straight to that Scizor slot. No Rocky Helmet. But I'm taking this Pokemon out first so that if Fluttermane has to come out, then Fluttermane isn't going to be super effective against that Bullet Punch. The only way that it can survive is that if I Terra, like, Fire, and I'd rather not have to deal with that. Rock Slide comes out. Does barely not knock out the Tornadus. And does a barely decent amount to Urshifu. Okay, Cornerstone Ogerpon. Okay, we're going to Tailwind. Well, we could do Bleak Wind. That, well, Yeah, no, we're gonna go. Oh, yes, Tailwind. And I'm gonna go straight into Surging Strikes. Which one's the better option? You know what? Let's wait. Let's wait. I want to see what they've got. Withdrew T-Tar. Totally fine with that. Brings out Gastrodon. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't use Surging Strikes. Oh boy. That would have totally messed me up there. Oh boy. Ivy Cudgel goes into the protected Urshifu. Oh boy, okay. We lucked out. Immediately lucked out. And now we're going to attack into the Ogerpon. Which he retreats, so it's going to become the Tyranitar. It's going to reset the weather. So Sandstream comes up, which is never going to knock out Tornadus here, but that's totally fine. Tyranitar is not going to like this. And here comes the close combat into that slot. Does knock out the T-Tar. And I minus my defenses just to pull that off. But you know what? I'm okay with it because T-Tar is now gone. And even though Tornadus leaves the field... Oh, Yawn goes off and hits the Urshifu. Totally fine. He's leaving the field next turn anyway. He's absolutely getting out of here because what's happening right now is not something that he wants to deal with. But we're definitely going to be bringing in the Ogerpon. And I'm going to... Oh, you still have a fourth. Oh, yes. Your own Ogerpon. Right. Woodhammer. You're probably going to protect. Yes. Yes, you are. That would make the most sense. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll crisscross. Okay, never mind. Battle's canceled. It's like, okay, so there's two ways that this can go down, right? Wait, I'm going to attack across from me. Okay, Ogerpon is going to one take down the Gastrodon or go into the Cornerstone Ogerpon. And then vice versa with Urshifu hitting into the Gastrodon. Urshifu goes to sleep the following turn. He's already got a -1 to his defenses. You don't really have to do anything else, but you could protect the Gastrodon to not do anything. But Urshifu is going to go through that slot. The Cornerstone, however, with it having Sturdy, you can't really do anything with. I think your attacker was Tyranitar, which I completely wiped off the field because you decided to bring out Gastrodon too early, in my opinion. As soon as you took him out to took out Cornerstone to bring in the Tyranitar, I think that's when like the whole strategy fell through. If you swapped Tyranitar out and brought in the Cornerstone and kept Gastrodon in the back, I wouldn't have known that he was back there. But as soon as you brought out Gastrodon to swap out for a Tyranitar, with Cornerstone still in the field, you kind of ruined it for yourself. Because I was going to go into that slot and force like kind of either a switch in or a, hey, you can't do any recoil damage, you can't do anything list. I was pretty much forcing you to make a decision that you didn't want to make. And I think the only way to come back from that is to, one, maybe protect, but Urshifu can go through it. You did yawn him, so it's not like you didn't have an out. But also apply more pressure onto me as soon as that were to happen. So I mean, you could have. I did have Tailwind still, so it wasn't like you could outspeed me, but I think you had other options to be able to combat me in a way. I'm not 100% sure on that though, but it was a good match. It seemed like it was an uphill battle on my end. Like as soon as I got to that plateau, you couldn't climb up further. I just kept like throwing rocks down at you or something, or you just kept slipping. So it became like an uphill battle for you, and I was already at the plateau waiting for you to catch up to me. So good match. And we'll get on to our next one. Okay, we got Iron Bundle, Tornadus, Tyranitar, Kommo-o, Rillaboom, and Fire Ogerpon. How should we deal with these Pokemon here? I think the best choice that I have is to maybe... Okay. I was kind of thinking like maybe Tornadus Fluttermane, but I don't know if that's going to work. Tornadus Ogre or Golden Go isn't going to work. I mean, unless... I'm assuming they're going to bring out Iron Bundle. I don't know why you wouldn't. But I'm trying to figure out a way to outspeed that guy. Any of my 163s can do it. My 170 can do it. Ogerpon probably can't, so he can't be up front. You know what? We'll bring in Tornadus Chien-Pao, Fluttermane, and we'll have Ogerpon in the back in case we need it. This is the best option that I have to be able to deal with the Pokemon that's on that side of the field. Now, I do realize that maybe I didn't bring in the Pokemon that could deal with their Ogerpon, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure I can deal with any of their Pokemon. But they did open up Tornadus Iron Bundle, so here comes possibly the Quark Drive. Yep, boost energy on that Iron Bundle does get activated. And it's shiny. Oh, but its special attack was heightened, so its speed isn't its biggest thing. We'll Tailwind so that we can get the extra speed, and then Sacred Sword into the Iron Bundle. But it's probably going to Terra here to become Ghost. I'm already locked in, so I can't change that, but if it locks into Ghost, you called it. They protect instead, so you did not use the Terra, which is totally fine. Tailwind does go off. They did not use Tailwind on their side. Okay. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to use it next one. Bleak Wind Storm does go off, and it misses the Tornadus. Does its Chien-Pao. Not enough to necessarily knock it out, but a decent amount of damage for sure. Let's go ahead and taunt. It's because I outspeed. And I'm gonna Sucker Punch the Iron Bundle. Let's see what happens. It might attack. It might do Helping Hand. We'll see. Okay, they're gonna Terra. It is the Iron Bundle. Is it Ghost? It's Water. So you're making it not super effective against Sacred Sword, which is totally fine. It's a good call. Taunt goes off. That Tornadus now can't act unless it has Mental Herb. It does not. Sucker Punch does hit the Iron Bundle. Does not get the KO. I cannot use Tailwind, so I now become faster. And here comes the Hydro Pump. And that's going to go over to the Chien-Pao. Does knock it out. So now we'll go ahead and bring out Fluttermane. Bleak Wind Storm, and let's just shoot off a Dazzling Gleam and go from there. That Tornadus is probably going to need to switch out here and go into something else, because otherwise it's probably going to get taken down. Iron Bundle does protect, which is totally good. My Bleak Wind Storm misses to protect. Does it hit the Tornadus? It does. He takes about half damage, and now I outspeed him with Fluttermane, which will do the rest. Should do the rest. It does. Okay. It's like it should. I don't know if it will, but it should. Okay. So it's now 3-3 tied. They've used their Terra, so that's done. He sent out someone I don't know. Tyranitar. Sandstream gets kicked up. I'm going to Rain Dance to take care of that. And I'm going to Dazzling Gleam because I'm locked into that because I'm Spect. But I'm going to get rid of the Sand. That special defense boost you got, no, it's no longer here. It's gone. Thank you. Here comes the Dazzling Gleam, which is going to knock out... Does not knock out the Tyranitar, but it does knock out Iron Bundle. So now it is 3-2 my favor. Here comes the Rock Slide. Misses Tornadus, but will hit the Fluttermane. Whew. And my Tailwind's gone. Okay. With my Tailwind gone, is that cause for concern about being able to outspeed anything? That'll depend on this guy. Komao? Not. Absolutely not. We're good. We'll Big Wind Storm, and I will go ahead and Dazzling Gleam. This should get the KO all the way through. Komao uses Protect. Good on you. Bleak Wind Storm misses Komao, but it will hit the Tyranitar. Guaranteed. Rain is 100% up there. And I did more than 50% last. So this should knock out T-Tar. Does. I was like, I think I did a lot before. But it's really going to determine like what happens here. And we'll just do it again. Battle's canceled. Understandable. That is a cool shiny Komao, by the way. But the battle was significantly in my favor as soon as their Tornadus went down. 100%. As soon as they went for Bleak Wind Storm instead of like Tailwind, they lost the momentum to keep up with me, which is why Hyper Offensive is really, really good and why I like to play it. But the caveat to that is if I'm not being able to outsmart my opponent, I'm not going to get very far. So that's pretty much the story of my team in the strat. A lot of good players can beat me. If you use Trick Room, you pretty much beat me like just starting. It's really, really funny. I say that, but it's really, really funny. I don't have a way to reset Trick Room. I think that might be someone that I bring in just so that I can have it and use it whenever I need to, because I think it would be very, very interesting. We got Roaring Moon, King Gambit, Fluttermane, Swin Arcanine, Gastrodon, and Iron Hands. So what would be the best counter for this team? We do have Fake Out Pressure, and we do have someone that's going to negate everything from Urshifu. Let's bring in... Okay. Tornadus, Golden Go, Chien Pao. Not Chien Pao. Yes, Chien Pao. No, Chien Pao. Yes, Chien Pao. Fluttermane, Chien Pao, and Ogerpon. Reasons for me not selecting Golden Go is because of the fact that although I do get like the ghost typing, it's not really going to do anything realistically, and I don't I don't want to get hit by Earthquake or like Rock Slides. I think Rock Slide's going to be really, really damning to Golden Go, but not 100% sure. But we do open up with King Gambit and Iron Hands. So we are going to go ahead and do that Terra, that hopefully get the effectiveness off. Because we do have Fake Out Pressure that we have to worry about, but he's probably going to go selected on Tornadus. If he does, great. If he doesn't, well, you guessed it. But no Sucker Punches. At least not on the first turn, I think. Okay, they also Terra, and it's probably going to be the King Gambit. It is. And it changes to... Oh! Ouch. Ouch. Let's see how this plays out. Fake Out. Does hit the Fluttermane. That's unfortunate. And Sucker Punch. Wait, what? That shouldn't work? That's incredibly weird. That shouldn't work. It flinched. That means it doesn't go. Oh, interesting. All right. All right. I do like that combo though. I didn't know that would work. I guess because it didn't say, oh, flinched. That's interesting. Okay. Bleakwind Storm. Yeah, Bleakwind Storm. And let's do Stomping Tantrum on the Iron Hands. With your Iron Hands, probably going to bring out the Roaring Moon. Arcanine. Okay. That's a good call there. Intimidate goes off, lowers down Ogerpon's attack by 1 stage. Definitely not going to one-shot the Ogerpon, the Arcanine, but it can do a lot of damage. King Gambit's going to protect. Here comes the Bleakwood Storm. Dodges the King Gambit. Will it hit? Yep, does hit the Arcanine. About a 4th. Maybe a 5th. Here comes Stomping Tantrum. Bop. Does unfortunately get the KO. Okay. Back out the Iron Hands. Let's do Rain Dance to get the Sucker Punch off, and Spiky Shield so that we ignore the Fake Out. Fake Out does go into Ogerpon. So we called that. He was hurt slightly. Rain Dance goes off. Yep, there's the Sucker Punch, and it was to the Tornadus. Gotcha. Okay. How long is Tailwind? Tailwind's got one more turn. Bleakwind Storm. And Stomping Tantrum. Even with the -1, he's still formidable. Withdrew the Iron Hands again to bring in the 4th Pokemon, Gastrodon. Okay. Sucker Punch does go off, and it does hit the Ogerpon. Does not get the KO though. Liquid Storm. It's both. Considerable amount of damage. Drops the speed for the Gastrodon. Stomping Tantrum. Doesn't do as much. The leftovers will let it heal a little bit. And Tailwind's now gone. Put Tailwind back up. Swap to Chin Pao. He's probably going to read that, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to. We'll bring out Chin Pao now. So now Sucker Punch will not go through. That King... Well, no, never mind. I was like, that King Gambit might be banded or choiced, but it does protect sometimes. Ice Beam does hit Tornadus. Not enough to KO, but it does do a lot. And I'm going to taunt that guy. And I'm going to Sucker Punch. Maybe not Sucker Punch? Yeah, I am faster. Sacred Sword. Oh, I knew it. I was debating whether or not I should attack into the Gastrodon or not. Oh, they double protected. Okay, that's even better. That's even better. Absolutely better. Probably was hoping to not get taken out. So now I'm going to switch into the Ogre Pawn and Sacred Sword into the King Gambit. Because the thought here is that they're going to double into the Tornado slot. Sucker Punch to maybe knock it out, and then leave it up to, you know, maybe Gastrodon to do a little bit of damage to the Chien Pao. But if I swap out, Sucker Punch fails, and Ice Beam maybe not do a lot of damage to Tornadoes. That's the hope anyway. Rain is up, Tailwind is also up, so we don't have to worry about those factors too much. Mold Breaker activates. Withdraw the King Gambit, so it is going to come out with the Iron Hands. So the Sacred Sword does go into that slot. That's a lot of damage. Holy cow, that's a lot. Ice Beam does go into the Ogre Pawn, does barely survive, and the rain stops. So we're going to Spiky Shield the Ogre Pawn. Tailwind lasts for one more turn. You know what? I'm going to protect on my side. Let's do the double. As here comes the Fake Out. Was to the Ogre Pawn. Okay. And Gastrodon uses Yawn. Okay. And when it's gone, Stomping Tantrum there. And I'm going to Sacred Sword that slot. I'm hoping that he's going to swap. If he swaps, it's going to be a really good read. If he doesn't, then one of my Pokemon go down. Gastrodon protects. Sacred Sword goes into that slot. But here comes the non-minus into the Iron Hands. Does get the KO. Okay. Now he still has Sucker Punch. So I'm going to Spiky Shield here. And I'm going to Sucker Punch there. Does it protect it? It could Yawn. Nope. Went for an attack. So I lost some of the HP due to the attack. Sucker Punch does fail because it went to the Ogre Pawn. Earth Power goes into the Chien Pao. Not enough damage. But it does get it into range. Swap. And Sacred Sword into King Gambit. This is a long game. Protect on the Gastrodon, which is what I thought was going to happen. Does he go for the double? Does not. Goes for the Sucker Punch on the Chien Pao. Does not get to fully kill, but it does do a lot of damage. Here comes Sacred Sword. Does knock out the King Gambit. Finally, he goes down. And because Gastrodon protected, he's left open. Chien-Pao goes down because of the life orb. But the damage at this point has been done. So now just solidify it. Tailwind to Woodhammer. Bop. Times 4 KO. It takes down Ogerpon, but you know what? I got him. Please tell me that in... Now we wait. I didn't disconnect at the very end, did I? Please tell me I didn't do that. Okay, good. I was like, no way! Disconnected at the very end. It was still a good match. It made me really think outside the box and to switch in a lot more just to be able to pick up that dub. Iron Hands for sure is one that I have to play around specifically, and especially with this team. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really did. Okay, so we got Urshifu, Landorus, it's Therian, Hisui and Gudra, Heatran, Grimmsnarl, and Rillaboom. Okay. We can kind of open up the same way that we did before, right? With the Cordeus Ogerpon, maybe. I would put Heatran into it. We could also do... Actually, let's open up with Fluttermane, because if it's Grimmsnarl, then we have like a more decent chance. And then Ogerpon for the third, and Chien-Pao for the last bit. I think that's how we'll do it this team. I feel like our team is doing fairly well. And now that I've got a few days off, I'm able to make some major changes to the team a little bit more consistently and be able to calc things more fluently, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to like say that I'm not doing these things, but I'm not able to dedicate so much time to that. Heatran and Landorus for their open. All right. Intimidate goes off, which is totally fine. Tailwind to swap to Ogerpon. Let's see what happens. Probably Rock Slide's gonna come out, maybe. Tailwind goes up. Hopefully it's not the double. Here comes the Rock Slide. Tornadus avoids it. Ogerpon does not. Doesn't take as much damage, so it's not as offensive. Here comes the Flash Cannon. Does not do very much damage to Ogerpon. Does not. We're going to do Rain Dance now to lower the damage even further. Stomping Tantrum would do really, really well against the Heatran, but he's probably going to Terra now. Spiky Shield's probably going to be the thing that I do now. Rain Dance. I don't believe I brought her a Shifu. Here comes the Rock Slide. Misses Ogerpon. Will it hit the Tornadus? The Heat Wave goes off and it's not going to do as much damage as it is raining. So there's that. I did not bring Urshifu. Urshifu would take out this Heatran like nothing. We'll do Bleak Wind Storm. And then we'll go with the Stomping Tantrum. Now we're going to be really on the offense. Heatran's going to protect. Really cool with that. Maybe I should have went after the Landorus instead, but I didn't. So it is what it is. I'm going to take a lot of damage here. We're going to drop the Landorus speed though. That's dope. So here comes that Rock Slide, and it's going to knock out both. I wonder if he's scarfed. He's not doing anything else, but he's not outspeeding me. But I do have Tailwind. I'm not sure what this Landorus is doing. It's very interesting, to say the least. Okay, we're just gonna Moonblast into the Landorus slot. Actually, there are fires so that we don't get hit automatically with Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon's a one-hit KO unless we Terra Fire here, so we're gonna try to rescue Fluttermane. Wizard Landorus, which is totally fine. Goodra, former Alpha. Let's go. So now we're Terra Fire. So now Body Press is going to do a lot of damage for both Pokemon here. Moonblast, Pop. Still not bad. Lowered sound at special attack, which is dope. Sacred Sword right into the Heatran. It is going to get the one-hit KO. Tailwind's now gone. So now we'll see if the Urshifu comes out next. Gotcha. Aqua Jet. This one I'm going to have to worry about here. Yeah, Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword. It's gonna Terra. Most likely gonna be the Goodra. It's not, it's Urshifu. Okay. Change it to water. Alright. Aqua Jet. Gonna hurt the Fluttermane. Does not survive, unfortunately. Pop. Goodra goes down. Ooh. Badly hurt from the Rocky Helmet. I'm also badly hurt due to the Life Orb. Out comes Landorus. Sucker Punch the Urshifu. I can't knock him out, but why not? Bop. It's really close. Surgeon Strikes is gonna... Oh, close combat. Doesn't matter. I mean, it honestly didn't matter what he used anyway. I was not gonna survive. He barely lives at Surging Strikes in the beginning when he just doesn't take any damage, and he's already half his health. I was like, it's whatever. Good match. I should have taken down Landorus far sooner. I think that would have been like the deciding factor there, but I didn't. And I knew that Aqua Jet was coming out, and there was no way for me to save Fluttermane. So I think changing Fluttermane from Spec to something else is probably preferred. I'll think about it a little bit more later on and see what changes I can make for the team. It's going to be very interesting for sure. So we got Roaring Moon, Weezing, Fire Ogerpon, Rillaboom, Fluttermane, and Urshifu. Okay. So the first thing I have to take down is that that's Weezing. It is such a problem for me. The only one I do have to worry about maybe giving us a little bit of trouble is Roaring Moon if he has the Tailwind. But he has a Fake Out user, a really fast Pokemon, and Urshifu. So I'm led to believe that I should bring in Tornadus immediately. But he has been kind of slowing us down with dealing with the wheezing. I don't have a lot of offensive damage for that Pokemon specifically. That doesn't mean that I can't deal with him though. So let's bring in Tornadus and Golden Go to start. We'll bring in Urshifu and Chien Pao. We'll keep Fluttermane in the back, and we'll also keep Ogerpon in the back. Those two Pokemon I do not think is going to have like a good matchup for everything on that side of the team. Like it does well against Rillaboom, but it will fail against Urshifu, especially if it's Rapid Strike. If it's Single Strike, it does handle a couple of hits. But we do need to keep, an eye on what Pokemon does well. Shiny. Marked. Okay. That's interesting. Booster energy on the Roaring Moon. Speed was heightened, so it's probably going to be a really, really fast type. But I do not have my ability, so that's something to take note. Prankster doesn't help me here. So we need to do Tailwind, and I'm just going to go straight for Nasty Plot. Tailwind goes off, he's faster. Totally fine with that. Ooh, good call. Excellent call. I like how that goes. Can't use Taunt. It's fine. I'll Nasty Plot it up. Immediately switch over to Chien Pao. And I'll go ahead and just make it rain on both of those Pokemon. Wheezing can't do anything to me. I ignore Taunt because Zip Good is gold, and I ignore Poison because I'm Steel. So now with Chien Pao out, I do not get access to Sword of Ruin, but I'm also not... Oh, right, knockoff. That's correct. Sludge Bomb! Pop. Ooh, poisons Chien Pao right off the bat too. Ouch. I forgot knockoff hurts quite a bit with Golden Go, especially when he was holding an item. I forgot. Okay, Citrus Berry activates on the Wheezing. Poison activates on the Chien Pao, which is unfortunate. Now, if I was them, the thing that I would go to next is to maybe not attack for the Wheezing, but maybe do something for Roaring Moon. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to protect on the Golden Go. Because if I was on their shoulders, I would assume that I would probably focus on the Wheezing to get him off the field. But I'm going to protect, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for the Roaring Moon. And that's where it kind of gets complicated. It's like I could do this, or I could double. The double is probably the best. But there's the protect on the Wheezing as predicted. What did Roaring Moon do? That's going to be the key thing here. Roaring Moon went for the attack. Double protect would have been better, or the switch in completely would have been like the optimized move. Really optimized, because now you have to attack on the Wheezing and hope that I do not get the KO. Because he can't go into the Golden Go. Scholar. Fluttermane. Okay. You're going to give me another target to hit. I want that. And I'm going to swap to Tornadus to get Golden Go out of there. You're going to Terra. It's going to go to the Wheezing because he can't do it to the Fluttermane. Oh, no, he could. Duh. Never mind. Terra Fairy. I was like, no, he can't. Totally can't. Because there'd be no way that he could. It's like, wait, no, I knocked out Roaring Moon last one. So, yeah. Sucker Punch hits the Wheezing. It goes down. Abilities now get activated. Which Chien Pao is going to go down here, which is unfortunate. But Qian Pao was on a really strict timer to begin with, so I'm not upset at that at all. But their Tailwind's gone. Urshifu gets to come out and is completely going to decimate this Fluttermane. And they sent out their own Urshifu, which is Rapid Strike. Terra, right into that Fluttermane. Tailwind, so that I'm faster than their side. Roaring Moon's gone, and so is their neutralizing gas. So this is the last two of their Pokemon. Even with Aqua Jet, you're not taking down Urshifu, which is definitely going to take down this this Fluttermane. You already used the booster energy, so I know you don't have that. You could have Scarf, but I'm going to use Tailwind to outspeed it. And there's a good chance that you're not really going to be able to take me out. So I'm just going to accept this fact that Fluttermane's going to go down, and you have a choice to make with your Urshifu. Detect. Okay. Tailwind goes off. Detect doesn't stop Urshifu, by the way. But when I asked why people pick Detect over Protect, and it's just so that if people use Imprison, Protect is normally used by a lot of Pokemon, which stops them from using it, and Detect doesn't go for that. So that's interesting to know. It was 100% like I had no idea that was the case. So I appreciate knowing that. I'm going to Swords Dance and Rain Dance. I'm going to make my Urshifu so strong that I'm going to knock this thing out. Okay, never mind. Battle's canceled. What looked like a losing battle has turned into a W. I love the fact that you opened up with Wheezing in Roaring Moon, because it made me like had to play around that a lot. I think switching out the Roaring Moon would have made it so that you would have been able to survive like I did with like Golden Go. But me barely surviving with Golden Go was such luck. Oh boy. It was a good match. They could have definitely won if they would have swapped out the Roaring Moon. But because they didn't and I was able to knock it out with Qian Pao, did set me up for a better pace for sure. Absolutely. Okay, we got Dragonite, Urshifu, Qian Pao, Heatran, Tornadus, and Fluttermane. Interesting. We're gonna walk in with these four. Mostly special attackers, which if I had Chi-Yu would be great, but I don't have Chi-Yu. He is currently in the process of being EV trained, so hopefully he'll be around for next season. But I'm definitely understanding why people do not only mixed attackers like Qian Pao and like Chi-Yu and stuff like that, but having more people with like synergistic properties like Qian Pao and Urshifu coming out a little bit further or coming out more. So it was a very, very illuminating thing, but we'll go on with this team and see what we can do against them. I believe I have Ogre Pond too. Yes. Tornadus, Fluttermane, Golden Go, Ogre Pond. I think that's what I selected. I may have forgotten already. Those glasses, bro. Dragonite, Qian Pao, Tornadus, and Fluttermane. So we automatically ignore anything that Dragonite could do. And let's go ahead and Terra Ghost, Tailwind, and then set up for the Dazzling Gleam, so now we don't have to worry about extreme speed, because Terra Normal extreme speed into Tornadus is going to do a lot of damage, and if they're banded, they're locked into that slot. But I also save Tornadus from being knocked out by Icicle Crash. I could have also swapped out into Golden Go there, but I like having Tailwind, so it is what it is. Terra, and it's gonna go over to the Dragonite. Are you Terra Normal? Ouchies. Can't say I didn't warn you, but I completely guessed it. Extreme speed doesn't affect Tornadus at all. I'm gonna activate Tailwind, so now I outspeed the Qian Pao, which is definitely going to get hit in the face with the Dazzling Gleam. Barely saves from Sash. And Crunch, it's the Fluttermane. That's a good call. That's an excellent call. If I was a little bit weaker, that would have definitely knocked me out, but it's not. So there's that. You're obviously gonna Sucker Punch, but I'm gonna Rain Dance and I'm gonna swap to Ogre Pond. Probably switching out to like Golden Go would have been better. Well, Breaker comes in. But I also figured the Dragonite would be leaving too. Bring out Fluttermane. Booster Energy activates. And speed was heightened. Okay. No Sucker Punch. No, you did use Sucker Punch. Okay. But it failed. It absolutely failed. We're going to taunt. So we don't get hit with the Sucker Punch now. And I'm going to Ivy Cudgel into the Chin Pao. Taunt the Fluttermane. So now it can't do anything in particular. Ivy Cudgel goes into the Chin Pao. So no Sucker Punches. You were trying to do something else and it will fail. And I don't know what the Fluttermane's going to do. Shadow Ball. Which definitely will hit Tornadus a lot. Yeah. Yeah, we foresaw that. Absolutely foresaw that. Go on, bring out Fluttermane. We bring out Dragonite. Dazzling Gleam. And Ivy Cudgel on the Fluttermane. Comes the Extreme Speed. It's going to hit the Ogre Pond. It's not enough to get the KO. Nice try, though. Here comes the Dazzling Gleam. Bop. Does not get the KO on the Dragonite, but I will knock out this Fluttermane before it can attack. I will not? Bro, Chacho, how bulky is this Fluttermane? It withstood 2 attacks. For the Speed Enhance. Okay, Tailwind's gone, which is totally fine. Golden Go, make it rain. And I'm gonna Spiky Shield. And you're locked in to Extreme Speed. Yep. And yeah, Fluttermane is faster. Dragonite was hurt. Dragonite faints. But is Shadow Ball gonna be worse? Golden Go survive? It does. Neat. Down goes Fluttermane. So having 2 or 3 ghost types deals with the Chien-Pao Dragonite strategy pretty consistently. Or just having people to swap into. I know I could save like Ogerpon from getting hit in the face quite a bit if I just swapped into someone else. Oh, Heatran, and you are stuck, my man, as a fire type. Fire steel type specifically. And this is gonna hurt. Protect on the Golden Go. Protecting on the Heatran as well. So Stomping Tantrum does not get an attack boost, which I thought did once, because it technically failed, but it's only when it's considered misses. And it stopped. Okay, Shadow Ball and Stomping Tantrum. Bop. Oof. Down goes Heat. Oof. Oof. Still a good match. There was a couple of times where I could have swapped out decently better for like negating damages to like Pokemon that I didn't need to take damage. Like, again, switching Ogerpon out for Golden Go would have been better. Absolutely. Thought I could have negated that damage and would have made it easier for Golden Go to come in later on, or maybe Ogerpon to come in a little bit later. I maybe would have been able to save Tornadus too, but it is what it is. But it's something that I need to consider for the next time. Absolutely. Good match though. It was a really good one. Okay, we've got Heatran, Fluttermane, Dragapult, Cresselia, Torkoal, and Landorus. Interesting. So Dragapult is a Pokemon I'm going to have to worry about for at least a little bit. His Phantom Force, I think it's a priority move that's physical. I think he also disappears, ignores, protect. It's going to be very, very interesting. But he is the fastest Pokemon on that side of the field, so I do have to keep that in mind as well. Trick Room is not the name of the game. Tornadus, Golden Go, Ogerpon, Urshifu. No. Chien-Pao. I become very effective against like Torkoal, but I don't think Torkoal's going to make an appearance. It could for Fluttermane's sake, but I don't think that's going to be like the name of the game, so to speak. So I think the best possible outcome that I have is this way. Cresselia, Landorus. So Tornadus and Golden Go, just totally fine. Intimidate goes off. Tornadus drops an attack and so does Golden Go, but that's not their main stat, so who cares? Let's go Tailwind. And Nasty Plot. I think that's going to be the game. Tailwind to outspeed, because I don't think Trick Room is going to be used. I mean, it could, right? It could have a pseudo Trick Room mechanic, but there are so many Pokemon that are fast on that team that it wouldn't make a difference to do it. Withdrew Landorus. So no Rock Slides. It's going to send out to Torkoal. So we kind of foresaw that happening. Tailwind goes up. Nasty Plot. Are you using Trick Room? You are using Trick Room. Okay. All right. Rain Dance. Terra. Make it rain. With one Nasty Plot, I should be able to put a lot of pressure. But again, like I think it's a terrible idea for them to use Trick Room. I don't think it's like with their team setup, I don't think it's gonna work. I mean, obviously I have to assume that Cresselia has Trick Room, right? That's not a bad assumption to have, but I don't think it, with their current markup, it's gonna be useful. Because now I do this, and I'm like, okay, now what? Yeah, you use Heat Wave. Tornadus avoids it. Golden Go takes hardly any damage. That's a crit, too, by the way. You use Skill Swap. So you give me Levitate, and you keep Prankster, which is dope. You can do that if you want. But I'm going to make it rain, and you go down. Oh, you don't? Interesting. Usually Cresselia falls to a Make It Rain. That's good to know. It's absolutely good to know. Problem is, I'm I'm just gonna go on the offensive now. And I'm gonna hit Torkoal with a +1. Oh, well, no I won't. But I'm gonna hit the next Pokemon that comes in. Oh, that's the Heatran? Oof. Oof. Shiny too, that's dope. Moonblast. Into the Golden Goat. That is damaging. Oh, you drop. Oh, that's neutral. It's a normal attack now. Not so effective on the Heatran. Does a little bit of damage to the Cresselia. Absolutely. Okay. Tailwind has one more turn. We'll do Bleak Wind and Protect. I was like, why is my Pokemon going last? Like, well, Trick Room's active still. That's why. I forgot a little bit. Lunar Blessing heals the Pokemon up for a little bit, about 25%. So it is going to keep them healthy. Earth Power does hit the protected Golden Go. And here comes the Bleak Wind Storm, which is 100%. Brings Cresselia back down to that. But now, here comes the game changer. Tailwind's gone. And when Tailwind's gone, I now outspeed Cresselia. Switch over to Ogerpon. And how long does Trick Room have? One more turn. Let's go ahead and make it rain. Tailwind's gone, so now Tornadus doesn't need to be on the field. I'll use him a little bit later, but now we'll summon up Ogerpon. Moonblast. Not very strong. With power. Still not strong enough. Golden Go holding out strong. Here comes the Make It Rain. Doesn't get the KO on the Heatran, but it will on the Cresselia. Which I should now have Prankster back on Tornadus. Now we get to have a little bit more of a fun fight. We've outlived Trick Room, which is great. Finally, we can actually do something that is feasible. But again, it was really, really interesting that they did Trick Room. Still don't understand why, but they did it. Intimidate comes out from the Landorus. So -1s on the Ogerpon. I'm going to hit the Heatran. Actually, I probably shouldn't because he's probably going to protect here. So maybe hitting the Landorus first? Maybe? Who's in the back? Chien-Pao? Chien-Pao's not the greatest one to bring out. Oh, we'll protect on the Golden Go. Because I'm assuming that Heatran's going to protect here. And it does. Okay. So we guessed that one right. Landorus does Earthquake. There's nothing to Heatran or my Golden Go. And it will hit Ogerpon. It's not super effective, but here comes the Ivy Cudgel. Oh, it's still raining. That's right. Rain stopped. Yes. Let's go. Let's absolutely go. And Pokemon are healing up due to leftovers quite nicely. Stomping Tantrum on the Ogerpon. Switch to the Tornadus. Get Golden Go out of there. So now Earthquake isn't going to do a lot of damage to me. But if it's Rock Slide... Fly? Bro, what? That is amazing. Let's go. Someone using fly? That's so awesome. I mean, it does prevent damage to them, which is great. 100%. I like that strat. Sign me up. Let's go. But you also know what else is bad? I know where it's going to come out to or where it's going to hit. So, yeah, it's going to be dope. Okay. They're going to Terra. It is going to go to... Is it to the Torkoal? It is to the Torkoal. Okay. Terra flying. Okay. Okay. You ignore Stomping Tantrums. That's dope. But I'm going to go Spiky Shield because I'm assuming Fly's going to come down on my face. And Rain Dance. Because I get Prankster back. Let's go. Landorus used Fly. And it hits the Ogerpon. Saw that one coming, and Landorus is hurt because he went into it. And Heat Wave goes into the Protect, and it's not going to do a ton of damage to the Tornadoes because it is raining outside. It's just a little wet. So then we're going to go ahead and hit Woodhammer on Landorus, and let's go ahead and Tailwind so I'm a little bit faster. Yeah, let's do that. I like being fast. Woodhammer on the Landorus. Bop. Does do a little bit of recoil damage, but it did take him down quite a bit. Landorus does Earthquake. Does not affect Torkoal. Does not affect Tornadoes, but it does hit my poor Ogerpon, which will go down. Which is unfortunate. A Will-O-Wisp. It hits Tornadoes. What is that gonna do? Oh, this is great. I love this. I absolutely love this. Oh, what should we do here? It would be interesting to walk in with like Chi and Pow now. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I don't know what the Landorus is gonna do, but I'm gonna walk in with Chi and Pow, and I'm going to Protect, and I'm just gonna do Bleak Wind Storm because that's gonna hit. Landorus is gonna go down, or I hit the Torkoal, which Eruption doesn't do anything, but neither does Heat Wave, so it's really, really cool and super interesting. Protect there, and I outspeed Bleak Wind Storm 100%, hits both. Landorus goes down. Torkoal's hanging out. He's strong. Drop his speed a little bit more. And a Will-O-Wisp goes into the Protect. Stops the Sucker Punch. I just want to highlight that. If I would have went Sucker Punch there, it would have missed, and then Chien-Pao would have been burnt. But now I can just do the Ice Spinner and the Bleak Wind Storm, because I'm good. Like it, yeah, he can Protect here. I'm not gonna get through his Protect. Urshifu's not on the squad. At least not in this fight. But yeah. Yep. Okay. And there we go. And that's game. Man, Trick Room, man. Trick Room. Absolutely. Oh, man. I do like it, the subtle change into Trick Room, but I think that it hurt their strategy way too much. You kind of want to have all of your Pokemon be slow and bringing in like a Pokemon like Torkoal. And I love Torkoal, don't get me wrong. But in Weather War, no, Torkoal can't really do a whole lot when it's other weather besides sun. And the immediate thing that they should have done is brought back Torkoal, brought out someone else like Heatran, and then swapped in the opposite Pokemon like Cresselia. Instead of keeping it in like, okay, I can use your Prankster ability with like the Lunar Blessing and stuff like that. Should have swapped out Cresselia, brought back out Torkoal to bring back the sun, and then have full reign of Heatran. You would have done so much more. And I guess you might have decided not to do that because I have Ogerpon in the back. And maybe because of the fact that I have, you know, Golden Go, but he was Terra Dragon. Like, I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage with, like, my Steel type moves, forcing me to rely on my Shadow Balls. So, I mean, like, dang. Like, dang. There was options for sure that they could have come back from that battle. But I really think I played really, really well. I think I did. That was so dope. Like, I'm kind of shaking. Like, that match was so good. Like, my adrenaline is pumping and I'm just like, can I win this? Is there a way that I can lose this? And I created a way that I can win. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Let's go. I know you guys haven't seen this screen in a while, and it's something that I've been kind of debating on whether I should show you or not. But I figured since we are now 80 battles in, we are 40 wins, 40 losses, we're 50%. I figured I would show you what our current ranking is for this point in time. We're currently 13,083, and while I'm very surprised that we made it this far, there were some times where I was like, why are we jumping up like 300 to 400 points? And now we're climbing back down to where I feel like we should be. So this is a very special occasion. Obviously, Thanksgiving was yesterday, and I didn't really thank you guys for everything, and I'm very thankful for everything that's popped up, especially with the growth of the channel and everything. But I wanted to make that known here. Even though that yesterday wasn't celebrated by all, I am very grateful and thankful for everything that you guys have done up to this point. I wasn't able to make it apparent in the last video. I had to record that the day before so that I can focus on festivities with the family, and I was given that. And I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for everything that we've done up to this point. Again, we are 80 battles into this thing. We've got only 4 more days to go to be like 100, and I'm very excited and I'm very grateful for being able to do this. While it's not my job yet, I would love it to be. I'm very grateful to be able to do this and compete in the championship circuit. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, we got Como-O, Indeedee, Landorus, Flamingo, Armarouge, and Ursaluna Blood Moon. I'll have to deal with the redirected and or trick room, but I could bring in Golden Go and not have to worry about it too much. But I do have to worry about Ursaluna with its stuff. Obviously, like the Flamingo is there for co-star for the Como-O's buffs. It could also be used for Ursaluna as well. Because of Trick Room, I don't want to get started right away with like the best hard-hitting team that I could possibly have. So I'm gonna bring in these two, bring in Golden Go and Ogerpon. Because I'm clearly stating that they're going to do some sort of Trick Room shenanigans, and I want to be able to withstand them outside of Trick Room, and a lot of my teammates do have Protect on them, so I'll be able to survive quite a bit. At least that's the hope, and I don't want to get stuck behind anything. So we got Indeedee and Landorus first off. Chia-Pao or Shifu. Intimidate goes off. It's really, really hurtful, but the -1 shouldn't do that much. Hopefully. Psychic Seed activates on the Indeedee due to the Psychic Surge. Raises its special defenses. So we're going to Ice Spinner into the Indeedee, and I'm going to Surgeon Strikes into the Landorus. I think. It could swap out to anyone, really. I know I don't want to click close combat. We'll probably get Follow Me here. Surge Strikes goes into the Landorus, no Follow Me. So it probably went straight into Trick Room to kind of give some way to maybe the Ursaluna. But with Landorus going down, no item used on him. Indeedee doesn't have one because we already saw Psychic Surge activates. That goes away. Here comes Trick Room. Dazzling Gleam. Not as effective on both the Pokemon. Indeedee is not like the fast attacker. They're not focused, really. Ice Spinner in the Armarouge because I think that they're going to Terra here. and our surgeon strikes the entity. Because this should knock out entity, turning off one Trick Room, and if Armourouge does Terra and it goes to grass, Ice Spinner's going to do a lot here, so they may not be able to get a move off. Let's see what happens. Endure. Oh, he's weak armor. Gotcha. He's hoping that Urshifu's attacking him. So defense fell, but his speed got boosted. Surgery strikes over on the entity. It's gonna knock it out. Hit 2 times. Entity faints. Out comes Ursaluna. Oh, what do I want to do? What's that? And that. Okay, so we're going to Terra Flying Qianpao to Sucker Punch into the Armourouge. So maybe we could do a little bit of damage to knock it out. We're still -1, but the Ursaluna is also now in play. Could go into Terra Normal. If it does, we're going to be set up nicely with the close combat. It's still weak against that slot anyway. But if it Terra Normals, we'll have a bigger attack on it instead of it just being normal. Vacuum Wave. Oh no. Sucker Punch goes into the Armourouge, does knock it out. So no Terra on their side. No Vacuum Wave either, which is what I was expecting. Unless Sucker Punch goes first. Close combat on the Ursaluna. Does not get the KO. Does minus my stats 1 stage. Hyper Voice. So we kind of got that right. Hyper Voice was going to come out. I don't think they Terra'd because of a specific reason. I'm not 100% sure, but we almost got it with the close combat. Now I'll bring out Golden Go and Ogerpon. Okay. Make It Rain and Woodhammer. Battle schedule. Okay. It was kind of weird. They didn't set up for Trick Room. I was really expecting them to. They had the recipe for it. Maybe it's because of the fact that Psychic Field or Psychic Surge was gone. So they didn't have the field to rely on no priorities. But even then, like, you still had access to stuff on Armourouge, so I'm really curious about that set. Other than that, it was a good match. I enjoyed myself tremendously. Good game. Yeah, we got Hisuian Gudra, Iron Hands, Water Ogerpon, Hisuian Arcanine, Grimmsnarl, and Sinistcha. They did really well with Qianpao Urshifu last time. I kind of want to bring them in again, but Ogerpon's kind of making me think a certain way. But if I do end up having to go against Arcanine, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Qianpao, Ogerpon, Fluttermane, and we'll do Urshifu. Leave Tornadus alone. Let's see how many battles I don't have to use Tornadus. I don't really have anyone to fear speed-wise with this, so maybe having Tailwind isn't that big of a deal. But let's see how far we can get without having to use our Tailwind goodness, you know? Arcanine and Grimmsnarl versus Ogerpon and Qianpao. So we do lose 1 attack due to Intimidate. So that's unfortunate, but we could bring out Fluttermane to take out the Grimmsnarl, but I'm not going to worry about him just yet. Let's go ahead and Sacred Sword into that slot. And let's Ivy Cudgel into the Grimmsnarl. Let's do that. I could see Reflect coming up now. He does have access to Fake Out, but I don't think that's going to happen. Here comes the Terra. Goes straight for the Arcanine. Change it to normal, so it's extreme speed build, I think. Reflects. Does activate. Sacred Sword. Still a lot of damage. Maybe to ignore Stomping Tantrum from Ogerpon? Maybe? Rock Slide goes out. That's a double KO! What? That wasn't in the plans, but that's okay. That's okay. Fluttermane. And Urshifu. And we'll go ahead and Dazzling Gleam it up, and Surgeon Strikes over to the Grimmsnarl. Now here comes the Light Screen. Withdraw. Okay. Brings out the Sinistcha. Hospitality is going to heal Grimmsnarl a little bit. It's actually kind of like the worst move. Like, I probably wouldn't not have brought out the Sinistcha yet, but it is what it is. A lot of damage on that Grimmsnarl, and it goes down now. Now, who's your fourth Pokemon? Because I know Arcanine, Grimmsnarl, and Sinistcha, and Goodra. Gotcha. Terra, Surgeon Strikes, over to the Goodra. Maybe I should have Terra'd the Fluttermane because now Heavy Slam can knock it out. Maybe. Not sure. Sinistcha leaves. Intimidate comes back. It's okay though. Maybe the double will get it. Not 100%. Just maybe. Dazzling Gleam. I don't think that's enough. This combat. Nope. Not even close. Without the Reflect, maybe. But the Reflect is up, and it's going to be up for a long time. Here comes Heavy Slam. It's like I knew it. It's like it's going to hit, and it's going to do a lot of damage. I should have done that. But I didn't, and that's my fault. They got a really good ending board slate because Sinistcha's in the back. So I'm kind of stuck here. Can I survive both? Shelter. If it's one attack, withdraws the Arcanine, so there's one attack. So the Swords Dance here was a pretty good idea. Hospitality to regain his health. That's totally fine. Are you gonna use Shelter? They are. So we both got a buff. And I'm okay with this. Because now I'm +1. And I'm minus defenses. Let's go for it. Close combat. It's a right back down. Like, I've lost already. Don't get me wrong. Because that's gonna happen. Makes me -1. So I'm neutral again. And they heal up to full. Ooh! That was a lot for body press. And yeah, I mean, they're not. Would they switch? I mean, they're probably going to. Nope. Okay. It's fine. Like I said, I've lost this. I'm at -3 now, so they can literally use Matcha Gotcha to knock me out here. That's totally fine. Shadow Ball instead. Yay. Bop. The counter to that was to literally Terra Flutter Me. That's how I would have been able to save her from being knocked out by the Heavy Slam, and I realized that way too late. But Arcanine was not going to be living very far. I did outspeed it no matter what they did, so it was not that big of a deal. I just played wrong. So it is what it is. Good match, though. Let's move on to the next one. We've got Salamence, Alolan Ninetales, Heatran, Rillaboom, Milotic, and Fire Ogerpon. We do have to deal with weather. We do have a Tailwind user, so Tornadus is automatically coming in. Let's go ahead and bring in also Ogerpon to deal with Heatran and Rillaboom. Fluttermane to deal with, Golden Go, deal with Alolan Ninetales, and Chien-Pao to bring in to deal with Rillaboom. And in fact, in case that I have no way of dealing with him. No, in the event that Ogerpon goes down. Ninetales and Milotic. Tornadus and Ogerpon. So I'm gonna do Rain Dance. First and foremost. And I'm gonna Ivy Cudgel the Ninetales. I should be focusing on. Nope, they're gonna get rid of Ninetales, so bring out someone else. Who is it? Heatran. So I called it. Milotic is gonna protect. So I definitely did call it. Rain Dance to get that away. They're gonna swap it in later, but here comes the Ivy Cudgel. Right into Heatran. Does very little damage. Let's go ahead and Leak Wind. Let's Wood Hammer the Milotic. Oh, wow. I'm just guessing correct plays today. Liquid Storm misses the Heatran, but it is going to hit the Milotic. I don't really know how to pronounce it correctly, so let me know in the comments down below. Here comes the Wood Hammer, and bop. Milotic goes down. So I know you have, once was a Milotic, Heatran, you have Ninetales, and a fourth. I don't know what your fourth is. We brought out Ninetales. Snow Warning comes back. Rain Dance it again. And I'm going to Stomping Tantrum the Heatran. Icy Wind goes off. Lowers the speed on Ogerpon, but not on Tornadus. Heatran uses Heat Wave. Avoids Ogerpon, hits the Tornadus, does not that much damage. Here comes Stomping Tantrum. Bop. And it's enough to get the KO. Who's your fourth? Who is your fourth? Ogerpon. Fire type. Okay. Bleak Wind. And let's go ahead and what do I want to do? I kind of want to Terra, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, let's hit the other one, Ninetales. They're gonna Terra? Probably for the Ogre Pod. Correct. Makes it fire. Resists. Well, it doesn't resist, but it doesn't get super affected by the liquid storms. That's still a lot of damage. And we drop the speed, or both of them. Dope. Heavy Cudgel goes off. Goes right into my Ogre Pond. It's gonna get to KO. It's unfortunate. Icy Wind. That is also gonna get to KO. Alrighty. Now we'll bring out Golden Go. And Qian Pao. We'll go ahead and make it rain. Yes. No. Yeah, make it rain, and let's go ahead and Sucker Punch. Sacred Sword? Sacred Sword does a little bit more. Ogre Pond. Spike and Shield. That's unfortunate. So I misguessed that one, but that's okay. I think I will outspeed. I do outspeed the Ninetales, so this should knock it out. It does. Leaving Ogerpon by himself. Now the question becomes, who do I Terra from here on out? That's pure fight or fire type. Fire doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Terra. Nasty Plot. I'm going to protect here. Terra Dragon, so I don't take that much in fire damage, and protect on the Qian Pao so that I get to keep him in one more turn. Because I'm assuming that's where that fire attack is going to go. Nope, and went straight into the Golden Go. Not very effective. But I do Nasty Plot. Okay. Protect again. And I'm going to Sucker Punch the Ogerpon in case if it does the attack. Battle's canceled. Never mind. So there was options that I did have there, but it was going to be really, really iffy of how to proceed. Ogerpon is still really strong, even though the rain is still up. I think I only had one more turn of it. So they definitely could have had me later on, but Shadow Ball might have been able to do enough damage to knock them out. I was only really going to be +1 and not anything else. So it's just one of those things that it's like, I mean, you could have gotten the game if you waited maybe 1 to 2 more turns, but it was up there. It was definitely up there. Still, that was a good match. Got a Lowen Ninetales, Infernape, Sinistra, Water Ogerpon, Iron Hands, and Roaring Moon. Okay, I'm gonna have to deal with Weather War again, so there's that. Who else do I want to bring in though? I did a really good job with Ogerpon. Could bring him in again and not have to worry about that. Bring in Chi and Pao for Sinistra and Roaring Moon. And we could bring in Golden Go again for Alolan Ninetales. And to kind of offset whatever they could do. Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring in the same crew as we did last time. We'll leave Fluttermane and Urshifu in the back. Because I think having like an offensive pressure like right off the bat is pretty good. I didn't have to use Tailwind like hardly at all, which is dope. I love having double speed and stuff, but being able to like offset weather is pretty good too. Alolan Ninetales and Iron Hands versus Tornadus and Ogerpon. Snow Warning goes off. Mold Breaker kicks in. So I'm going to do Rain Dance so we don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to go ahead and Spiky Shield so that the Fake Out can go somewhere else. Plus I can ignore Icy Wind that might be coming out of this. Fake Out goes to the Tornadus. Guess what? Covert Cloak. Ooh, Blizzard. Okay, I hope you miss, and you do. That's dope. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and swap to Golden Go, and let's put a lot of pressure over to this Ninetales. That's probably going to be swapping. I mean, it would make sense because they would want to take advantage of like, you know, having stuff like that. Yep, there they go. So whoever they're bringing out's gonna get. Ooh, Ogerpon. Okay. Ivy Cudgel. Bop. Still a lot of damage. That's a crit too. Wild Charge goes right into the Golden Go. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a little too much damage that I would like. A little much. Just a little bit way too much. Shadow Ball. There. Stomping Tantrum there. Stomping Tantrum goes and hits the Iron Hands, takes it down to half. Ivy Cudgel comes in and it hits the Ogerpon or the Golden Go. Does knock it out, which is unfortunate. Kind of something that I thought was going to happen. It's like, I'll take the risk. Drain Punch hits the Ogre. That's super strong. That is way strong. That's too strong. Okay. Bring back Tornadus. We're going to Terra so that we don't insta get nuked by the Iron Hands. And I'm going to Stomping Tantrum that slot too. This should knock out one of them. I don't think it's going to do both, but it would be great if it did both. Lake Windstorm does knock down the Ogerpon, does not do anything to Iron Hands, but it might get him in range, if not fully knocks him out. Stomping Tantrum. Oh, it gets him in range, but doesn't fully knock him out. Here comes the Wild Charge into the Tornado slot. It's still enough to knock him out, but we did get recoil damage. That should be able to knock him out now. Yep, there he goes. Okay, good. Whew. Now, unbeknownst to them, I have Chi and Pao, which is going to get a very good defense boost from the snow that's even just about to come out now. Here comes Roaring Moon. Oh! Oof. Oof. Snow Warning comes out. And Photosynthesis activates due to the booster energy. And attack was heightened. So let's go ahead and Ice Spinner. And we're going to go ahead and protect on the Ogerpon. because acrobatics could come out now and do a lot of damage. Let's see what happens. I don't think they've terra'd yet. I know I have. Ice Spinner goes right into that Roaring Moon. Does get the KO. Who was your Terra target? Did you Terra? Like at all? Dazzling Gleam. That's gonna hit Chien-Pao for a lot. Does get the KO. They have not terra'd. Alright, let's go into that slot. Dazzling Gleam. Not super effective. Ivy Cudgel. Super effective. Down goes Alolan Ninetales. I don't know why you didn't Terra anybody. That would have been my first question. It's like, okay, who was my Terra target and why didn't I Terra? Like, Roaring Moon would have been perfect for that Terra target. That could have, like, changed the entire battle, especially if you made it something that, you know, resisted Chien-Pao. Like, Flying, I mean, Flying wouldn't have done it, but you could have easily done something different. Dang, it was a good call. Don't get me wrong. It was a good call. I was kind of teetering back and forth whether or not that I would win or not. Iron Hands was kind of hard to take down, and Ogerpon, when he came out, was just kind of like, oh, yay, I have to deal with this. I just barely held through. Barely held through. Love that. Anyways, next match. Okay, we've got Urshifu, Tornadus, Ogerpon, Fluttermane, Landorus, and King Gambit. I do have to worry about Tailwind first and foremost, so we're going to focus on that first. This is the best way that I can deal with it without having to put up Urshifu or Ogerpon to deal with it first. After that, we'll bring in this Fluttermane, good target. King Gambit isn't. He Dark Steel, Ogerpon, and Golden Go. That's who we'll bring. We'll leave Fluttermane and Urshifu in the back. Probably a bad idea, but at least I don't have to click, you know, Rain Dance. Hopefully. Hopefully. I could be wrong in that, but we'll see. King Gambit, Tornadus. Tornadus, Chien-Pao. Okay. Oh, with the Tailwind, I kind of want to take out their Tornadus, but then I open myself up for a lot of onslaughts. But I think that's the best bet that I have. Let's take out the Tornadus. Because if they do taunt instead of Tailwind, then no, it's Tailwind. Okay, it's just double Tailwinds. It's fine. No priority from the King Gambit, I should say. Tornadus goes down. Lose some HP due to Life Orb. Gatal Cleave is going to go straight to the Tornadus. So we traded Tornaduses. I like that. I like that a lot. Still an even speed tier, but we traded Tornaduses. So it is Dark Steel from King Gambit. Most likely we'll do Protect next turn, unless I know that that's like a choice item. Because now here comes Urshifu. There's a Rapid Strike. Ivy Cudgel there. Actually, let's do Wood Hammer there. Sacred Sword there. They're gonna Terra. It's gonna go King Gambit. Dark. Okay. Urshifu protects. Sacred Sword. Not enough for the KO, but it does do a lot of damage. Wood Hammer goes into the protect. Sword Stance. Okay. Back to the Urshifu, and I'm going to Sucker Punch the King Gambit. Hopefully this is going to be enough. Sucker Punch. It is enough. Just barely, though. Knocks out the King Gambit and their Terra target. So now what does Wood Hammer do? Wood Hammer? Bop. Urshifu barely lives due to the sash. Holy cow. And the recoil damage was huge. Close combat goes into the Chien Pout, which is going to knock him out. It's unfortunate, but it is a notable outcome. Golden Go and I'll come out. And so will their Ogerpon. Okay. I'm gonna... I mean, Urshifu is probably gonna protect here, right? I'm gonna Terra. In the event that he does, I'm gonna Shadow Ball into that slot so that I kind of punish him for that. Terra Dragon. I want to try to punish the Urshifu. He doesn't protect here. He's going to take a lot of damage. Aqua Jet into the Ogerpon does quite a bit of damage. Ivy Cudgel from my Ogerpon to his does a lot of damage. Ivy Cudgel to my Golden Go does a lot of damage. But here comes... That's also a crit. Here comes the Shadow Ball into the Urshifu, though. So I did punish him. And this is going to be the game-winning stats. Now I outspeed their Ogerpon and I do quite a bit of damage to them. And my Golden Go can't be knocked out because that was a crit that did all that damage. Oh, my Tailwind. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tailwind. No, I still outsped. Never mind. I was like, oh, yeah, I used Tailwind, but so did they. So it is what it is. Ivy Cudgel and Shadow Ball. I attack first. Bop. It goes down. Not bad. Not bad. Guys, I just realized we went 4-1 today. That's dope. Finally, we're above the loss record for a while. And I know that you guys haven't seen it. And that, guys, is going to be the end of Season 12's Tier Series. Again, I apologize for not getting all 100 matches, but I'm hoping that 85 is suffice enough to quench your guys' thirst to absorb all the VGC battles that we have been dealing with since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet. Kind of. Since I started competing, I should say. And I'm hoping that whatever comes from here on out is more than enough. For the video that comes out today, I believe it's going to be Monday, you guys will have a couple of more days where there's no content, but during this time that you're watching this series, I will be building Season 13's team, and then I'll be officially posting Battles 1 through 5, I believe, on Thursday. Now, I'm doing that just to give myself a little bit of buffer to figure out what I want to use for my team, and then trying to calc them correctly. Now, I could also just use Season 12's team and just make subtle variants, not like I haven't done that before, but I want to make sure that I'm putting all the time and effort into a team that I plan on using for the Portland Regional. So Season 13 for me is that crunch time. This is most likely going to be the team that I'll be taking with me to the Portland Regional, and I want to make sure that I make the right choices for the right moves at the right time. So Unlike previous seasons, I will be making a lot of changes, and I'm hoping that I make the right ones to see victory. I really do. But with that all said, that's going to be the end of the tier series. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to do the YouTube things. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.